Well, hello and welcome to my sparkly corner of the internet. I'm Shine, and this is Divine Shine Tarot with another celebrity reading live stream. Are you happy to see me? I am back sooner than expected. I had planned to only do one live stream this month to catch up with all my other editing, which I'm actually getting through faster than expected, so I'm able to squeeze in some live streams sooner than I thought. Then maybe I'll take a break next month to catch up with the remainder of the clips because there are so many topics to cover tonight. Pop culture is not resting, so neither will I. So I scheduled quite a few streams from today through Valentine's Day. Let's get a visual. Let's pop up the visual. All right. So I scheduled quite a few live streams from today through Valentine's Day to cover a bunch of celebrity and pop culture topics that you all have been curious about. Tonight is jam-packed with pressing celebrity readings based on current events and hot topics. I will list out all those readings that I'm covering tonight shortly. But coming soon, I have a Housewives special coming up for those of you that watch the Real Housewives franchises on Bravo. Join that stream to ask me questions of your favorite Bravo celebrities. I scheduled a Valentine's Day weekend special doing live readings on some of your favorite married celebrity couples that you often ask me to cover on this channel, like Justin and Hailey Bieber, Beyonce and Jay-Z, Selena and Benny, Riri and Rocky, etc. So we'll check to see what's coming for all of them this year on Valentine's Day weekend. Then I also have the monthly horoscope streams scheduled for next weekend for those of you that love the personal readings. And I'm planning a special to do readings on some top online content creators and media personalities that commentate on pop culture, entertainment, and sports. It will be interesting to see what the cards say about them. I'm really excited to read on Kai Cenat. I think he has great energy, even though he's been heavily scrutinized lately. I was going to read on him tonight, but I'll wait to read on him during that special with the others. So make sure you hit the notify me on each of those scheduled streams so that you're alerted when I'm starting, and join me live for those readings to ask your questions, especially the Housewives one. There is a lot to cover there, so I will only read on the ladies that you all specifically ask about. I am trying to get into a schedule where I can do these live tarot streams with you all every weekend, preferably Fridays, but life is unpredictable and I often have to change it. So if you'd like to catch the readings fresh out of the oven, just turn on your notifications to keep track of when I'm live. Otherwise, you can always wait a few weeks until I upload the individual video versions. All right, so quick rundown of who I'm reading tonight. We have a few couples to look at after last weekend's Golden Globes, including Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, and Nicolandria, that is Olandria and Nick. Missing from the red carpet was Zendaya and Tim Holland, which some suspect may be pregnant, so we'll look into that. Let's see what's to come for Miley Cyrus this year, since it's the 20th anniversary of her hit Disney show Hannah Montana. I want to know if we'll ever get a collab from Miley and Gaga, since they both have such spectacular voices. We'll also look into the heavily discussed divorce announcement from social media couple Kristy and Desmond Scott. You all asked me about Louis Tomlinson and his girlfriend Zara. Louis is dropping an album this month, so it's a good time to check in on him for my viewers that love UK celebs. Will Smith is in some legal and alleged controversies, so we'll see what's to come for him this year. Brooklyn Beckham is spilling tea about his famous parents, David and Victoria. And we might do a reading to see what's up with Olympic gymnast Simone Biles and her pro football husband, if time permits. Whatever I can't get to tonight, I will roll over to the next stream, since these readings require a lot of my energy. For those of you that are familiar with my tarot streams, you know I cover a lot. I give you my all, and then I get drained. So it's best for me to recharge and return with more when I'm refreshed and energized so that I can give you my best. For those that will watch the replay on YouTube, timestamps will be down in the description to jump ahead. Just give me a couple business days. There's a lot behind the scenes that you all don't even know goes into preparing timestamps after a stream, and I usually get a lot of comments about it. Some of you are very anxious to see the readings, and I just need a couple of days to get to it. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the editing process, I usually edit out any long breaks or interruptions from my live streams, which takes hours for me to go through the whole stream again. Then I have to wait another day for YouTube to update the stream to get accurate timing, because since my stream is already several hours long, YouTube's system takes several hours to update it, and then I can finally jump in to put accurate timestamps. So please be patient and appreciative, you guys. It takes a couple days at minimum for me to accurately place timestamps on these lengthy live streams. That's just what it is. So you can always watch this in 2x speed if you want to enjoy the whole stream faster, and just scroll through the stream the old-fashioned way to get to the readings you want until the timestamps are done. I have to say all of this on every stream because you would be surprised on how many comments I get about these simple things. Some people are a little entitled and need a lot of hand-holding, and I don't have time and energy to respond to every individual comment. So I just have to hit you all with these basics at the top of every stream for the needy newcomers. All right, so remember on live, I try to just do brief readings, not deep dives, since we cover so many different celebrity readings at once. If you enjoy anything about my content, consider booking a reading or sending a donation where you can also attach your request or suggestion for a pop culture reading you'd like to see me do. But the best support is free, so hit that like button and subscribe so that I can continue sharing these celebrity and horoscope readings with you. Okay, now let's get started with the readings. I will give background before each reading while I shuffle for me to connect with the energy of each person and also to give you context. Remember, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. No facts, no truth, just tarot. Okay, so let's get started with something that has been filling everyone's FYP, this Kristy and Desmond Scott divorce news. So social media personalities Kristy and Desmond Scott, I think I have a visual prepared. Boom, technology is working somewhere. There we go. Kristy and Desmond Scott. So they are a couple that for several years, apparently they have been uploading prank content, family-based content around their coupledom, and I believe they have 2 kids. They're based in Houston, and many people grew to know of them because of this content, but we recently learned in past weeks that they are actually getting divorced. Let me pull up a few more details here. They've known each other for roughly 16 years since they were 14 years old. They married in 2014 when they were about 19, 20 years old. So 12 years and 2 kids later, they have now called it quits. Kristy filed for divorce in December, citing infidelity, and the couple is currently navigating custody arrangements for the 2 boys, ages 6 and 7. Now, speculation was that Desmond not only cheated to get out of the marriage, since they're Jehovah's Witnesses, but he was rumored to be cheating with a man, allegedly. Then, TMZ recently shared candid video of Desmond having a very passionate makeout with a 24-year-old Houston-based model and business student named Marissa Springer that people also thought looked a little trans. She has since come out and released a video saying that she is a natural-born woman and that there was no history. She's not the one that he cheated with. It was just a night where she was feeling the vibe and they were just enjoying themselves and being present. Very present. So, people think Desmond was actually putting on for the cameras to dispel any LGBT plus rumors, while others think he's just so happy to be free and experiencing someone new. So my take is that being with someone from the age of 14 means you never got a chance to experience being an adult as an individual and figure out who you really are and explore your options. So I imagine they both feel a sense of freedom, and being together through those key developmental years could be a bit stifling. So it seems like a great opportunity for growth for both of them, because it seems like they may have already outgrown each other within the relationship. But the impression some people got from their content was that Desmond may have been tired of not having peace and privacy in his own home and having to force big reactions for their content. They think Kristy seemed draining, like she needed a lot of attention and didn't respect him, often seen snatching things from him in a rude or immature way. People have described her as obnoxious, performative, and irritating in their family content. A relationship without mutual respect and boundaries is not sustainable long term, but sometimes things are not as they seem when there's no cameras around. So we'll see if the cards can reveal what their energy and dynamic really was behind the scenes. Both of them seem to be acting unbothered on their socials. Desmond is unpacking new kitchen equipment. I think this is from his latest post. And Kristy was also seen in the kitchen from the house that they built, saying same address, meaning she is still in the same dream home that the followers saw her and Des had custom built in recent years, which is to be expected. I mean, usually by the time a divorce or separation has been announced, the public is the last to know that the couple has been broken up or checked out from each other long before we hear about it. So it feels like the announcements are usually the last step in being able to move on publicly without the expectation of being a committed spouse and move forward with their new lives. So with all that background, let's look into the questions that you all sent me here. Let me take off the visuals first. So we will be looking into, the first reading will be on what is the energy between Kristy and Desmond Scott when they were married? What was the true dynamic off camera that led to this divorce? Then we'll do a reading on what's to come for Desmond and what's to come for Kristy. So Kristy Scott is a 30-year-old Taurus, and Desmond is reported to be 32, possibly a Capricorn. I can only assume because I didn't get straight information online, and we can assume that he's about the same age as Kristy since they said that they met at age 14. But for any of you that follow them, let us know if you've ever seen Kristy celebrate his birthday and if January is accurate. He is currently an aspiring chef or just a social media chef. I don't know how advanced he is with that. So let's get started on this reading. Just taking down these visuals. I'm actually going to start with this deck for the first reading about what was their energy in the marriage. What was the true dynamic in their marriage that led them to this divorce? And then we'll get to Olandria, Nicolandria, since we have a few curious viewers waiting. We'll prioritize that reading tonight. Spirit, what can you tell me about Kristy and Desmond's dynamic when they were married so that we can understand what led to this divorce? Is it as some think that Desmond was tired of the disrespect, or is there something that is it that appearances are not as they seem? So the first thing that popped out here was this manipulation card in reverse, indicating that someone wanted to break free from manipulation. So someone in that couple, in that marriage, must have been manipulative. Okay, mature woman. So maybe Kristy was actually more mature than Desmond, and that may have been part of what led them to separate. Yeah, acting like a child. We got this child card, but in reverse. So this could indicate that someone was acting very immature, or this could maybe point to something to do with their children. Maybe someone wasn't taking care of the kids, not holding up their part of the responsibilities as a parent. Whoa, obsession. So this is the energy of someone that may be too intense. Was it that Kristy indeed was obsessed with the social media, or was Desmond perhaps obsessed with breaking free, experiencing someone new? Maybe he was cheating for a long time. Let's see. Ooh, the evil eye, but we have this card in reverse. So maybe the breakup was because someone in this relationship wanted to get away from the person that was manipulative and bringing bad energy into the house. Okay, but they wanted to keep up appearances. So maybe this relationship was over longer than we know. Like maybe they were over each other for a while now, and it's just that they tried to keep it going, to keep up appearances. High honor meaning wanting to receive the benefits of a certain image or a certain accomplishment. Maybe they were trying to keep it together until they finished building their house or whatever it is that they were using the relationship for in their brands, in their ambitions. Okay, whoa, false documents. someone was lying about something. So upright, false documents, false information, false statements, agreements. So what was the lie? I mean, we're left to think that maybe someone was lying about their infidelity. If we've only heard of Desmond being the one that was stepping out and having affairs, according to the divorce that Kristy filed. But I wonder if there's more to it. Negative thoughts. So this negative and toxic environment must have led either one of the people in that relationship to start to question their own mental health and their own state of being. Because if you're dealing with someone that's manipulative and bringing negative energy into the household, and they're lying, and there's an obsession, it just seems like it's grounds for people to be in a very negative headspace. So it seems like while they were trying to keep appearances, someone stepped up, was the more mature person, and said, let's just separate so that we can get to a better place mentally and psychologically. Oh, but there was this connection. So it's like, even if they're ending the relationship now, they were meant to spend that time together. They were soulmates. They were meant to go through this life cycle, even if that cycle is coming to an end or taking a different form, because since they share children, they will continue to co-parent and keep some sort of relationship. They will be family forever. And during the time that they shared, it does seem that that was meant to be. But there were many elements in the relationship that were toxic and unsustainable that required them to now separate. They have accomplished what they were meant to do in their time together, and it's time for a fresh page, a new start. Yikes, they fell out of love with each other with this real love card in reverse. I think that's self-explanatory. It goes along with what I was saying earlier, where if you don't have respect for someone anymore, it's hard for you to continue a relationship with them. If you don't have love for someone anymore, that applies as well. It's hard for you to continue a relationship with them. Confusion and illusion. So usually when I get this card out, this could mean that yes, someone's being manipulative, but it also has the energy of someone that may be using substances. See this clouded headspace, this cloudy mind could be because of substances, and someone is under the influence of something that is contributing to someone not thinking clearly. So confusion and illusion, someone being manipulative, creating illusions, but also someone that is not in their right frame of mind, possibly due to use of substances, drug abuse or drug use, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. No facts, no truth, just tarot and oracle cards. Okay, yes, someone did not want to let this come to an end as yet with this endings card. They kind of wanted to keep things going, but as I mentioned before, it seems like it just was not sustainable and it came to a head. Ooh, wait a minute. Let's see what else we're getting out here. Yeah. Oh, no, not divination. Is that right? Whoa, imprisonment. Whoa. Okay. Well, let's see. This kind of applies. I'm not going to take the imprisonment because that would be more of a future thing. Or maybe there's something that we don't know about that they actually experienced. Maybe someone did something that caused them to get locked up and we're the last to know. Maybe that'll come out after. Yeah, okay, cool. So I think it ends here. So we got these two cards here. We got distant future, meaning someone is ready to move on, which we also have that card here. I should actually show these two cards together. Moving on and distant future. So I'm getting a mix of someone ready to move on because they're no longer going to see the type of future that they expected. So when you're dealing with someone that's manipulative, they could do something called future faking. So whatever plans you're making with them that are so far in the distance, you start to realize that's never going to happen. We're never going to accomplish that milestone or get to that goal because the goalpost keeps being moved. And so with this idea of a distant future of something not coming to completion or someone feeling the sense that we're never going to reach the place that we want to be that aligns with the kind of future that we've been discussing, we realize that it is time to move on. And then we have this love offer card that popped out in reverse, indicating that someone was entertaining other affairs or other engagements, other parties outside of the relationship, and it may have gone sour. And that's probably why things blew up in the face of one or both people in this relationship. So this could be that maybe someone in the relationship was cheating for a while. Maybe it was Desmond, and because something went wrong with someone that he was with, it was kind of like he had to confess to get ahead of it before they go and tell on him. You know, if there's any truth to the rumor that he may have been with a guy or with a trans, maybe that person that he was having an affair with was going to go tell Kristy something. And that's when he was like, well, I have to come out and say something myself before someone else makes it look worse for me. So this love offer in reverse could be indicating that someone may have forced their hand in terms of making this divorce finally happen, because as I said earlier, there was indication that they did not want this relationship to end because there were so many benefits to maintaining that kind of image, and because things were starting to blow up because of some mess that someone found themselves in. Maybe even whoever that person was that was having an affair was even, you know, part of this bad. So noisy here. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Maybe even that person that was threatening to come forward with news was also part of what was creating the negative energy, sending bad juju, bad vibes with this evil eye card that we saw earlier on. So it was sort of like a necessity for them to separate. Seems like Kristy indeed just wanted to get away from all of that negative energy, negative headspace. And let me see what's happening in the comments. I think she will do well just by herself. She was the main character from the very beginning. True, it does seem that way. I didn't follow their content, but it did seem like she was the one that helped bring their brand or their image, their influencership to the amount of exposure that it did rise to. And I'm sure she will do fine continuing in that direction, but it remains to be seen what will her content pivot into, because now that it's not family content and prank content, and now that she's gotten so much criticism and backlash for the kind of content, because usually when a woman experiences infidelity within their marriage, society usually is immediately on her side and is condemning the cheater. In this case, it would have been Desmond. But surprisingly, a lot of people have been taking Desmond's side because they keep saying that, well, in her content, she was just too much. As I said earlier in the background portion, they said that she was obnoxious, that she was disrespectful, and that she was so demanding energetically that others could see how that could get irritating and hard to live with long term. So somehow that brand that she created kind of bit her in the back. There's some backlash there from what she actually benefits from. So remains to be seen what she will pivot into and how they will do, which is the perfect time to segue into these next two readings. Let's see what's coming for Desmond and then what's coming for Kristy. Spirit, what can you tell me about what's coming for Desmond? What can you tell me about what's coming for Desmond? Let's see, is it too many? Oh, okay. So he's over this relationship. He has walked away from these many years of this emotional connection with this 8 of Cups, and he is venturing off into the unknown. He's not sure what he's going to step into, but he just knows that it's going to make him feel better than this. He is over the marriage. He's over not just Kristy, but being married. He's over being a husband, it seems like, and he's over the whole thing, the way they were on social media, the way he came to be known as the person that hypes her up in her socials, and the image that they had created for themselves, but especially for Desmond. He's walking away from all of that. So wouldn't be surprised if his content takes a different direction. I believe they said that he does chef stuff, so he'll continue to do that, but maybe he'll be a little more edgy, or maybe he's going to try to rebrand himself as sexy or something. It seems like he wants to pivot away from everything that resembles whatever he was made to be, or whatever he was perceived as before. Then we have this Page of Pentacles. So he's interested or excited to develop his new opportunities, new ideas. It could be hobbies, it could be skills, it could be new business opportunities that are presented to him that he's ready and willing to explore and develop. This is about skill development and being very diligent and dutiful about making sure that you take the steps necessary to try to grow that idea, that business, that hobby. And he's very passionate about it with this Ace of Wands. So this is about a new creative opportunity, something that would be lucrative, but also something that he really loves. This could also be a new person, but it seems like Desmond will just be diving into passion in general. He's going to be living a life that he enjoys for himself now as an individual, not necessarily whatever is necessary for the couple's family social media brand to move forward. Okay, the money might be funny. He might need to be very careful and responsible with his money just to make sure that he's not overspending until he starts to gain more income from these ventures. Or it could also be that he just doesn't make as much as he could have when they were together. It could be that he is, as many people have said, that Kristy has a bigger following. It could be that he doesn't earn as much from his social media ventures. So that could also be why he's actually pivoting into something different. Okay, something's coming to an end, but a happy end. So this is about completion and accomplishment, this World card. Obviously, we would first think that that means the relationship, but it seems like something else is coming to an end. Also, this could be travel. Maybe he's going to start traveling and doing his cooking show across the nation or internationally, something to switch up his content. Yeah, it seems like there's going to be a lot of roadblocks for him financially. This is the second card that we are getting to indicate something to do with the money being tight, not getting as much financial incentives for his brands, for his ventures. This King of Pentacles indicates that wealth, business, and hi, Toby. I'm so happy to see you. We are in the middle of a reading for Desmond Scott. So, okay, what's good, Chaos? Did I say something by mistake? I'm here just looking at so many screens. I want to make sure if I said something wrong, I just want to double back and say it so I don't have to voice over later when I'm preparing these clips. But yes, as I was saying, the King of Pentacles in reverse indicates that things may not be going good financially or in business. He may not be making good businesses. Desmond may not be making good business decisions, since this is about leadership, someone in a position of authority that has to do with wealth, with business. So either Desmond doesn't make good business decisions, or the businesses and other brands that he chooses to work with, something about those deals are not lucrative, or something about the decisions and his brand are not lucrative, since we have these two Pentacles cards. In intuition and secrets with this High Priestess card reversed or upright. So I wonder if this could be alluding to some internal work that he's going to be doing. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it, because since there were rumors of him possibly engaging with a man, maybe this is something that he's going to be looking within himself to come to terms with. This High Priestess card is usually asking you to trust your intuition and let that lead you. So alternatively, this could also be saying that if whatever his first ventures and whatever he explores financially, if those don't work out for him initially, he may be digging deep and doing a reset and a redirection in terms of what he pursues next. Ooh, okay, Four of Cups. So there's something that he's going to be very disinterested in and contemplating, just as we saw here, where it's like, okay, these things didn't work out, so what should I pivot into? And so we leave off with this card, this Four of Cups, indicating a sense of contemplation and dissatisfaction. So he won't be very happy with his financial prospects coming out of this brand, but it could be temporary. It could just be a matter of time before he's able to rebuild his image and brand and step out as an individual further away from this backlash or the splash of whatever this divorce is doing to his reputation. I'm just going to take a few looks. Queen of Wands, Ace of Swords reversed. So there may be some mistruths, some dishonesty, someone that's very fiery, passionate, and attractive. Maybe that's saying that Kristy is going to move on and be doing very well, very attractive, attracting a big audience. This is about someone who has very fiery and magnetic energy. And again, if we are thinking about fluidity, maybe this could be him stepping into his fiercer self. Just kidding. And then we have the bottom. Yeah, gotta make a different plan after this. And the money is really an issue here. So I will leave it there. It looks like things for Desmond will not be easy after this divorce in terms of trying to secure financial streams of income in the same way that he did before. He's definitely going to have to pivot and choose something else, find something else. But it seems like that's actually a part of the process of him to discover and plan and prepare for what's next. At least we didn't see anything terrible, like a downward spiral or anything. So we'll leave it there. I'm actually surprised. I thought that we were going to see a lot more about his romantic life. Maybe this could also be saying, because these are the only two cards that we got from the Suit of Cups, maybe this could also be saying that he's just not interested in ever being married again, or he comes to find out that it's actually not all that it's cracked up to be. Being single now, it's not as sweet of a deal as he may have originally thought. He starts to maybe have regrets or rethink some of the choices and decisions that he made to break free from this. Like, gee, I wonder if this was the right decision for me to make. But so far, it looks like the priorities will be passions and finances for him. So good luck to Desmond. Let's get a few cards out now to see what's to come for Kristy. Yeah, F. Toby, right. A lot of people were saying that he shouldn't have cheated. And that's one of the points that I was trying to make, that usually when there's a partner that is engaging in extramarital affairs, that is usually the one that everyone is against. But this was a very unique case where people were apparently maybe hate watching Kristy's content or something, because people were more so on Desmond's side. Like, it more so felt like, oh, what a relief, now he can be free. That's the perception that a lot of people had. But yeah, that's still no excuse to cheat on someone in your marriage. Although he did release a statement saying that he told her in advance that he wanted to separate, and some people speculated based off their knowledge of Jehovah's Witness that he did the cheating so that he can get out of the marriage in a way that aligns with their religion, which I would think, if you're divorcing, you know, do the Jehovah's Witness come to your house and say you can't divorce? I don't know. Like, why do you need to cheat to divorce if it's, you know, I guess he plans to stay in the religion. I don't know. But let's see what's to come for Kristy. Let me just do one more shuffle here. Right, the grass is not always greener on the other side. So he is coming to learn that, or he's going to learn that. Let's see what's coming for Kristy, Sarah, Scott, Spirit. Let's get a few cards out for her. Oh, that was quick. Hangman. So this is about someone that is going to take a step back and surrender, or take a pause so that they can get some spiritual guidance. So she may be very introspective at this time. Kristy may be like, whoa, what has happened here with my marriage? No longer a part of my life. It's a huge change for her, since her whole life was built around this marriage. You have the schedule with the kids. You have your content creation schedule. Everything was built around this marriage. So she probably really needs a moment to pause, surrender, reflect, before she can just take off. So based off of how the other card started, Desmond's going to take off running. He's thinking that he's better off, he's happy to be out of this, and he will eventually see that there's some setbacks and hurdles that he's still having a hard time shaking, whereas Kristy is a little more shell-shocked and going to take her time coming out of this. Okay, but not too much time, because it looks like she may be curious about a new love. This could be romantic love, but it could also be a new creative opportunity, a new passion, something that she'll be very focused on. So maybe she will be pouring herself into work and creative projects to keep her mind off of things of her whole life, basically being reconstructed. I agree, F. Toby. It's weird that people were blaming his wife. Ooh, the past. So she is going to go back to something or someone in her past. I believe that she was born in Trinidad and Tobago. That is a Caribbean island for my international viewers. And maybe she reconnects with those roots somehow because they live in Houston. So it's not like she's going to go back to another part of Houston, but it seems like she's going to enjoy their house. She's going to keep the house. She's going to perhaps be the main, what's the word? The parent that keeps the custody of the kids, the main whatever of the kids. And there's something about the past that she may be enjoying. So she may go back to whatever she went to school for, if it's different from what she does now, or she may meet someone, reconnect with someone from her past. There's something there that is going to... Oh, she is keeping the house. You see, that's great. So yeah, she's going to keep the house, but there's also something from the past that she's going to reconnect with, or someone from the past. Could be a place, like I said, maybe something to do with Trinidad and Tobago, maybe someone that she knows from the past, and it's going to be a pleasant reconnection. This could also be a hobby, so maybe that will be part of her rebrand, her redirection. She'll start delving into some other passions that she may have had outside of the family content. Yeah, she's planning and preparing, and she might even be traveling as well, since we see the little globe here. This is the Two of Wands. And so once she gets her energy and her vision back, she will be taking off and exploring her options, maybe outside of just Houston. Since, as I said before, this gave me something to do with maybe her going back to her roots, connecting with something to do with Trinidad or the Caribbean or something international. Then we have the King of Pentacles. Yikes, we just saw this in the Desmond reading. King of Pentacles in reverse, saying something will not be as lucrative as it was before, or making bad business decisions. This is just some sort of unfavorable thing with business. Either some brand deal doesn't go well, some decision to pivot into a different category doesn't go well. Either way, she's going to be exploring, as will Desmond. So it is going to be a risky decision to take, as reinforced by this Fool's card in reverse. But it seems like it is a necessary part of their journey to explore, take risks, make mistakes, and come out on the other side as a different person. But this Fool's card in reverse indicates that there may be some immaturity, and that's why she has to kind of go through these experiences to develop herself as an individual. And there may be some poorly made decisions, as we saw previously in the King of Pentacles, some risky decisions that don't really work out as well as they wanted, as she wanted. But it's not the end of the world. It's like you start something new, it doesn't work, you can always pivot into something else. Okay, collaboration with this Three of Pentacles. So she may be working with other people. Interesting. So she might start to do more collaborations with other social media people, or we'll see if, yeah, it looks like lots of different brand deals that she'll be continuing to do. Either way, she will definitely continue to be very front-facing, is what I'm getting for this card. She will still be out there. She's not going to hide. She's going to continue to try to grow her brand and still be the influencer that she's been, the brand that she's built. She's not going to abandon that. She's going to try to work with people to try to break out of whatever these blockages may be. Ooh, but she's stuck. So the first thing that came to mind once I saw this is that she is stuck in a habit or a pattern. So because whatever she did in her social media for all those years, because it worked, she is going to have a really hard time like stepping out of that flow of recognizing that it's time for her to change. It might be time for her to step away from social media, which she will come to discover through her explorations and the different ventures that she explores. But it seems like she's really stuck in something that can eventually become self-harming and self-destructive. If we're thinking retroactively, this can also indicate some sort of abuse, like domestic abuse, mental abuse. So this could perhaps say that she may still be impacted from what she experienced in her marriage. So this after effect may be part of what contributes to her maybe not being her best self in this front-facing work that she will continue to do. But at least she will try. This moment of pause, surrender, and contemplation is going to be very essential for her to rebuild and to plan, prepare, and grow in a different, better, and stronger way. So let me just take a look at last few cards. Those are really good cards. She will eventually get it on track. Yeah, okay. So let's take these last 4 cards just to finish up. So, let me just set this up, make it. The Magician. So she will have everything that she needs in order to manifest the life that she wants. Once she goes through this realization that she really needs to break away from either the social media or the way that she does things, she'll be able to step into a new version of herself, a new lifestyle, and be very self-sufficient with this 9 of Pentacles. She will be back on track in terms of earning a lot. All of her work will pay off. So she will enjoy a life of luxuries, and she will finally come to love her independence with this 9 of Pentacles, which is beautiful. And she will be getting that money. This Queen of Pentacles is going to be very smart about balancing her work-life balance. So nurturing the money and nurturing the family at the same time. So she's going to be able to have it all in a sense in terms of finding the new redirection of her business or her brand, as well as still being a present and loving, nurturing, supportive mother. She's going to be in a position of abundance where she's going to be able to be very generous, not only to her loved ones, her sons, but also pouring back into herself is what I get from that. And she just needs to be aware of illusions, making any poor decisions, any bad decisions based off of like, oh, this item's shiny. Oh, that looks like a good deal. This has given me the energy that she just needs to not take on too much, which coming out of the divorce, she's going to ease her way into some creative ideas, maybe revisit some past ideas, definitely exploration, trying some things, making some mistakes, maybe putting herself out there more, collaborating with other brands to see if that can elevate her, realizing that she needs to drop it all, break free from the old version of herself completely, and she's stepping into a completely new version of herself, and that's going to be very abundant and healing, fulfilling, and successful for her. So that is great. She's gonna have to go through the bad in order to get to the good. So we are happy for you, Kristy Sarah, and let's hope that the kids are going to be very happy as well. May they not be so affected by this disturbance, because they're relatively young, and that's the age that they say is when kids tend to be more impacted by a divorce. Let's see what happens. Only time will tell. All right, so let's switch off to our next reading with this Godiva goddess, Olandria. So, Olandria was the moment at the Golden Globes in this showstopper Christian Siriano Kelly Green fishtail gown. Who's Olandria, you say? Well, apparently she is a Love Island USA contestant. That is a show that I'm not familiar with, but it sounds like a relationship show, and I heard that they vote people on and off. She is with one of the other contestants. His name is Nick. They are together. They are a couple. I believe they were first runner-up. Let me read my notes now. It says, yes. You just read it how I have it here. So, Love Island couple Olandria Carthen and Nick Vastenberg, also known as Nicolandria, they were runners-up on the Love Island USA Season 7 that just aired last year. Olandria, 27, she is a Gemini, and she is known as Bama Barbie. She's from Decatur, Alabama, and she worked in elevator sales before the show. Now she's blown up as this big star because of the exposure, but also some controversies that she experienced because of her beautiful, delicious Godiva goddess chocolatey melanated skin. Apparently there was some racial controversy from someone else that was on the show. They were on a live stream. Someone called in, said a racial slur, and the reaction from that contestant, it was Huda and her boyfriend. The reactions from them were not defensive, protective, or offended. Instead, they laughed and hopped off, which they have since apologized. But because of that, apparently that's part of what catapulted Olandria into the spotlight, along with whatever happened on that Love Island show. And her boyfriend, Nick, he is 24. He is a Pisces from Jacksonville, Florida, who is a registered nurse and model. A very handsome guy as well. Let me see if I can give you guys a quick visual, since we have a little bit of technology working on our side today. Eventually, right? Let's see. Yeah, that's Nick. You guys see that? Boom. Nice eyes, Nick. They look like a beautiful cover. A beautiful couple. Let's see. This is a nice one too. Yeah, beautiful couple. Very nice. All right, so let's do a reading on Nick and Olandria. Let's see what's to come for them in their relationship, because while Olandria was so fabulous and beautiful and visible at the Golden Globes, people also noticed that Nick wasn't there. So there was speculation and rumors, of course, as always. Oh, maybe they're not together anymore. But Olandria came out and said that they're still going strong. So we can see what the cards say about that. And someone in the comments said that there was even a rumor that she may be pregnant. With her snatch waist being like this, I doubt it, but who knows? Some women carry differently. But let's see what the cards can tell us about Nicolandria, Spirit. What can you tell me about Nick and Olandria? What's to come for them? And let me actually do one more shuffle here. Let's get a few cards out for Olandria and Nick from Love Island USA, Spirit. What is to come for them, Spirit? Let us know if they are expecting. Will they make it as far as marriage? Uh-oh. No, I don't think that came out. Let's see. Let's get a few cards out for Nick and Olandria. What's to come for Olandria and Nick, Spirit? Okay. Ooh! Is that in reverse, though? Okay, we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And this indicates someone that may have made some mistakes in their financial pursuits, to where now they're experiencing financial failures. They didn't get the bounty of the harvest that they were reaping, that they were investing in. This could also indicate someone is too stuck in their individuality. So let's see if the following cards can give us some clarity on that. Okay. Oh, Chaos said that the pregnancy was not a rumor. It was just an astrological prediction from other astrologers. I see. Okay. So yeah, let's see if the cards can reveal something along the lines of maybe the Empress card, or something to indicate that they might be going down that path. So far, with this 10 of Swords in reverse, it indicates none of the sort. This is indicating that there's something that is never going to get better, that someone is meant to step away from or break out of. Yikes. So could that be that the relationship will eventually come to an end? It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of realization that maybe I'm stronger and better off on my own, and this relationship has run its course. There's not really much more that I can benefit from or gain from with this. I hope that's not true. They look so good together. Queen of Pentacles. So this indicates someone that's having a hard time balancing their work life and their personal life. So maybe one of them, feels like Olandria, is going to be dedicated to all of the opportunities and the new spotlight that she has found coming out of this relationship and that show, and what their relationship has gotten them in terms of the fame and potential fortune. So it seems like maybe she will be prioritizing seizing those opportunities, and that would contribute to maybe the relationship not getting as much nourishment, support, being present as one would need for it to go long term. Could also be Nick, but because we have these two cards indicating feminine energies, it seems like maybe Olandria is the one that is thinking more along the lines of, let me just do what's good for me, strike while the iron's hot, and take advantage of the opportunities that I'm getting as an individual. And that may feel so good to her that she may actually want to continue to remain single and pursue as many opportunities that come her way as she can. Let's see what else we have. We have this Tower card in reverse indicating avoiding a disaster. And this is the second card that we see in this reading, indicating that someone's trying to hold on to something that's not working, and it's just a matter of time before that tower crumbles. Yikes. I'm really surprised to see these cards. I thought that we were going to see nothing but like love and sweet stuff, and, you know, something to indicate perhaps engagement, marriage, baby, something long term. But it seems like things are going to have to end because someone in this relationship is focused on their individual growth and is going to be over this relationship, saying this relationship's not going to take me further. We're not growing together. We're growing apart, which is unfortunate. Okay, wait a second. Finally, some good news. We have the Ace of Cups upright. So this indicates new emotional feelings. So that could be a proposal, marriage, a baby, or, sorry to say this, but because it follows the cards of necessary endings, this could be someone finding love with someone else, or finding a new love, a new passion with something else. It could be that it's not necessarily a new relationship. It could be that this is about someone loving, as we said before, their new individual life in terms of being single, being free, having all of these opportunities, having this spotlight, and stepping into maybe a role, maybe a movie, a show, something that levels them up in their career, since it seems like that is what is most attractive to whoever's energy this is representing, which again, I still feel like it's Olandria. So Olandria may find a new love. Doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could, but let's see what the following cards say. Something else I got was that this just said Nick might propose to try to keep her. Interesting. So he might try to keep this from falling apart, but it seems like Olandria's mind is already on something else, seizing the moment and just doing her. Let's see what else we see. Yeah, it's about the money, the business, the coins. So this could be, again, the focus and the priority for one or both people in this relationship is business, wealth, prosperity, abundance. Or this could indicate that maybe someone proposes marriage, like they do a very publicized engagement because of the potential business benefits. Like, okay, if we make it down the aisle or at least get engaged, that's going to give us a lot of opportunities for product placement and just more visibility so that we can continue to grow our brands and continue to explore our opportunities. So that is interesting that in this reading on what seemed like such a lovely couple, we're getting so much business focus, money focus, material, and individuality, and things kind of hanging from threads or not being viable, something that is not going to grow any further than what it is, which is contributing to the decision to maybe step away from it. And someone trying to at least keep up the appearance of togetherness. I mean, this could also indicate there is real love there, but there's so much business motive behind it of like, well, let's keep this going because we can continue to grow our opportunities and our brand, and it's good for business. It seems like that's what that card is saying. Yeah, this is a third card that we're getting to indicate trying to hold on to something so that it doesn't fall apart or break off until you reach your goals. This is the 9 of Wands. So just as I suspected with these cards, it seems like even though they may feel, or one of the people in that relationship may feel that they're no longer able to grow or benefit from the relationship as it stands, they may decide to move forward with at least an engagement or something that allows them to progress in their relationship for the benefits. But it's kind of, once again, as I said before with these cards, it feels like it's like hanging by threads, that this is something that is bound to end, but they want to get as much benefits or opportunities out of it before they allow that tower to crumble. Because this 9 of Wands indicates perseverance, resilience, trying to hold on to get to the end of something, to get to one's goals, and then you will allow things to fall as they must. Oh, wait a second. What a nice card. We have the 10 of Cups, and this is happily ever after. This is love, family, fulfillment. Look at the kids, so happy. Look at that nice, rich, fertile yard. So this is a beautiful card to end up on this reading, because this indicates that while the relationship may experience some challenges and there may be some differences in priorities between the two, ultimately there is a good foundation here for them in terms of genuine love, attraction, interest, and potential to be a happy family, a happy couple. So even if they go through it just to see what they can get out of it, they might actually truly find that they truly love being with each other and start a family and continue to grow in that direction. So that is really nice and pleasant to see. So they might go through the motions just to, or as I was trying to say earlier, they might go through with things with hesitation, sort of like someone has one foot out already, thinking that I might be better off as an individual. But once this proposal comes in and all of the business appeal, all of the business benefits, I should say, once all of that comes in and they are able to hold on in their relationship, it seems like they'll be really happy with each other in the end. That's a really nice card to see. We have weakness, doubts, insecurities. We have injustice. These don't feel like they are for this reading. So let me see what else we have in the bottom. Ooh, King of Wands and 2 of Swords. So this is someone that is very stubborn. This King of Wands reversed is someone that has unachievable expectations. They're very opinionated. This feels like it might be Olandria, someone that's very fiery and someone that's calling the shots. And then we have a tough decision that needs to be made. And this is the, ooh, wait 1 second. There we go. A tough decision that needs to be made with this 2 of Swords. And this may be something to do with what I said earlier about maybe there is hesitation to move forward with a true marriage, relationship, family, and making that decision is part of what will turn out to be better than expected, is what I'm getting from this. But it's something that someone meets with a lot of hesitation, again, because of the appeal of being single, being an individual, exploring all of the opportunities that they get on their own, because it's starting to feel as we said earlier, it's starting to feel like the grass is greener on that other side of not being in this relationship for someone, which it feels like it's Olandria. But eventually she will decide what's best for her in terms of, should I stay in this relationship and see if we can go all the way and have this family, or should I step away and just focus on my personal life, my personal ambitions? It looks like she's actually going to go for the family portion. And it looks like, I think I looked at these cards already, right? Oh, am I frozen? Hold up. Let's see. Not again. Could I get some emojis in the chat? Can you guys see me? Let me see. Am I frozen again? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm not frozen. So just to conclude this, as I was saying, it looks like Olandria is going to make a tough decision on if she wants to remain independent and self-sufficient and continue to explore her opportunities on her own, or if she will accept the offer from Nick to get married, start a family, to continue to grow in their relationship. So this resilience, perseverance means that one of the people in the relationship is ready and willing to hold on to that dream or that idea of them making it far, making it long-term as a couple, and someone is going to have the final say in that. And let's look at how this chocolatey, beautiful woman is looking a lot like Olandria. So, remains to be seen what they end up doing. Good luck to them. It seems like right now the focus is very much business, business, business. Opportunities, coins, lots of coins in this reading. Were you guys surprised to see that? I know I was. Let's see, what is our next reading? Who should we read next? All right. So, there was a request for a reading on Louis Tomlinson. I know, right? They look so good together, Toby. I agree. Okay, Louis Tomlinson, Nick Jonas, and Priyanka. I think I had Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, but I think I'm just gonna leave that one for now. And if they get back in the news, then I'll revisit that. Oh, the Brooklyn Beckham stuff. Did you guys see that he was spilling tea about his famous parents? David and Victoria Beckham. He was saying that his mom danced with him inappropriately at the wedding. Everyone's like uploading funny memes about that, but I don't really see a reading there. If you guys have a question on that, you guys let me know, but I don't know what to pull cards for that on. What to pull card, what card? Anyway, it's one of those nights, okay? Please forgive me. So I think we should actually do this Will Smith reading, because I have Will Smith, Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga, Simone Biles, and her husband Jonathan Owens. I think I'm interested in the Will Smith. Or you guys tell me if there's anything else there that stood out to you guys. I'll do the Will Smith and then I'll circle back to that request on Louis Tomlinson. All right. So it seems that Will Smith is being sued by a violinist that worked with him on some projects last year, a tour. And he's being sued for, I think it's sexual harassment. Let me just pull up whatever I had here that I can remember, because I didn't have time to gather all the notes for this one. So Will Smith is being sued by this guy who was a violinist on his tour. Here we go. Facing a lawsuit filed by former tour violinist Brian King Joseph in early January, accusing Smith and his company of wrongful termination, retaliation, sexual harassment, and predatory grooming during his 2025 Based on a True Story tour, which Will Smith's attorneys claim are false, baseless, and reckless accusations. So on top of that, there was recently an interview released by someone that claims to have been a very close friend of Will Smith and his estranged wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, named Bilal. There was a clip that I saw of him on an interview with Tasha K, another YouTuber, and I don't have time for that interview. I think it was an hour, almost 2 hours, and people said that she kept interrupting him. I don't know. I only saw a clip where Bilal was accusing Will and Jada of abusing other people allegedly abusing other people in the entertainment industry, particularly young people. There was a actor named Bashir Gray that Bilal accused Will and someone else of abusing, and Bilal claims that he had a up close moment with Bashir, or confrontation, where Bashir disclosed that, oh, you know that they abused me, you know that they rape. That's how I'm going to say it on my channel, but if you take the accent out, I think you could understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to say grape. I'm not saying that. I think that sounds silly and that's too close to the real world. So I'm going to say rape. So that he said that he was raped by Will Smith and whoever else. And so that, along with these sexual harassment charges that are finding their way into the public, while they are just accusations and Will Smith is innocent until proven guilty, it still is a bad look to have these rumors swirling one on top of the other. And this person, Bilal, that claims to have been so close to them, this is not the first time that he's making these kinds of accusations. So things have been swirling in terms of rumors and accusations have been swirling around the Will and Jada situation, entanglement of it all for a while. And we can pull some cards to see what's to come for Will, since he's no longer with Jada. And I personally don't want to tap into that energy, because I just at a glance, I don't get good vibes from Jada. I don't want to I do not want to find out more about her. I'm not curious at all. I don't think we're going to learn anything positive there. So best to just focus on the person that is currently in the headlines, which is Will Smith. So let's see what the cards can tell us is to come for Will Smith with all of these accusations. Can we see maybe the cards might be able to disclose some truth in terms of, did any of that really happen? What's to come for Will Smith, Spirit? Let's pull out a few cards to see what is to come for Will Smith with not only this year's accusations, but the whispers that we've heard for Will Smith for many years. Has always questioned his relationships behind the scenes, and him and his wife in terms of their open marriage and their dynamic, where it seemed like many felt that Jada seemed a bit disrespectful and maybe even abusive to Will. Let's see what the cards can tell us. So the first card that came out is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, indicating that someone may not be putting in the work, or whatever they are working on, it's not going in the right direction. So because we asked about a court case, accusations, and what's to come from that, it seems like it will not work. Like whoever is putting in the effort to bring these accusations and this court case, I'm going to take this first card to indicate it will not work, or someone may be putting their effort in the wrong direction and it won't pay off the way they want to, or the way that they expect to see it pay off. Interesting. There will be some delays with this Eight of Wands card in reverse. Delays and obstacles to someone's goals. Things not necessarily working out as they had planned, despite the effort, despite the inversion in work, effort, and time that they make to try to bring something to justice. Something or someone from Will's past may step in to actually paint a favorable light of him, which is what we're getting with this Six of Cups card. So either someone steps in to put in a good word for Will in the public. So this could be a PR campaign with the Six of Cups, or this could be that there's evidence in the past that helps Will in this case, or in these cases, because I don't know if the Bilal situation is going to be a case as well. That sounded a lot more graphic and concerning than the accusations that the violinist has been making. But either way, there's something or someone in Will's past that will actually help him through this situation. So that could be someone actually putting in a favorable testimony in terms of someone testifying that that's not what they witnessed or that's not the case, or someone coming out in the public to say those kinds of things. Or it could be that there is evidence in the past to disprove this person's case, which is why it won't work, which is why it won't move forward. Yeah, someone's not going to get what they want with this Nine of Cups reversed. So this whole first row indicates that this lawsuit, the first one with the violinist, will not move forward. But we're not getting anything to clarify if Will Smith is indeed, I don't want to say guilty, but if he indeed engages in a questionable and concerning lifestyle or set of choices behind the scenes and off camera. But so far, it looks like that lawsuit will not be successful based off of this first row of cards. I'm not even sure if I should go further. Yeah, look at that. That lawsuit is over. We got the death card, and I was going to end it there, but yeah, let me go ahead and proceed with these cards here. So first we have the death card, which I think is self-explanatory. That case is going to be dead before it even starts. We have this Three of Swords, indicating a heartbreak, a major disappointment. Again, for the person that is bringing this lawsuit. We have the Strength card, indicating that Will Smith is probably feeling confident going into this case, that he will win, that he didn't do what he's being accused of, and he is able to prove it, so he feels that it won't go far. And there are people that will help Will disprove this based off of this Three of Pentacles, people that will work with him since this card is upright. So seems like there is no tea here, that those accusations being made by this violinist will not advance. I could pull a few cards to see if there's any truth to the years of rumors that we've heard about Will Smith, but energetically it doesn't seem like he's a bad guy. His fluidity might be questionable, but it doesn't seem like he's the guy that's holding people down and abusing them or manipulating them to the level of like a Diddy. So I can pull a few cards on that, but just to conclude this reading, because I feel like I breezed through the bottom because it felt like so self-explanatory. But yeah, as I said, it seems like that lawsuit being brought by the violinist is not going to go far. It's going to be brought to an end, which is going to be very disappointing for the person making the accusations. And at least Will is going to have support and have evidence to get out on top, so to speak. And this person the person making the accusations, they're not going to get what they wanted with this Nine of Cups in reverse. So let me switch decks here to see if we can get a little more information about Will Smith as a person, which good for you, Will, that this will not move forward if these cards are correct, because we just started a new year and, people don't want to deal with any big legal headaches. Because isn't Tyler Perry also still dealing with some similar accusations from someone that he worked with? And it seems to be a theme in a lot of the accusations being made against big people in the entertainment world, like Tyler Perry, like Will Smith, that they're getting accusations and legal cases thrown their way, thinking that it's going to be like a Diddy situation, and then the evidence doesn't quite support that. Because I think in the Tyler Perry situation, there were text messages released that were up for interpretation in terms of people deciding if it seemed suggestive, inappropriate, or if there was interest and cooperation from both sides. So perhaps the Will Smith situation might be a similar thing, of someone that may have had an experience with Will, and they might be twisting the truth to see if they can get more out of it than what really happened. based off of those previous cards, but time will tell. So let's switch off into a reading on Will Smith, Spirit. What can you tell me about Will Smith? Let me see. I just want to make sure this is very well shuffled. I keep seeing the same cards. There you go. Spirit, what can you tell me about Will Smith? Can you tell me some truth about Will Smith? Not again. What? Second time tonight we get this manipulation card. And I'm going to keep this, but I feel the urge to shuffle still. It feels like, let me see, unexpected money, manifestation. Yeah, I feel like I still need to shuffle. I didn't feel like I was complete with my shuffle there. So let's get some cards out here to get some more information about Will Smith, Spirit. Can you tell me, who is Will Smith really? Is he anything like what these accusers have been saying, Spirit? Is there any truth to the rumors? Or is he the nice guy that he's been perceived to be in his entertainment image, his brand, his social media and on-screen persona, Spirit? Can we get a few cards to indicate what is Will Smith really like? Who is he really? Is he anything like what people have been saying? Okay, so he indeed is someone in tune with their emotions. He is perhaps someone who's sensitive, since we have this Ice King card in reverse, meaning he is not icy cold and intense. He's actually a lot more compassionate and sensitive than most people realize. And with this moving on card in reverse, he may be at a difficult stage in his life, Will Smith is, where he is having a hard time maybe reaching his goals of where he wants to be in his life based off of this moving on card in reverse. But I'll pull out some more cards to clarify what that could be saying. Oh, okay, Divine Masculine. Wait a second. This could be saying that indeed there is maybe attraction to men, or a particular man that he may have been interested in, or in general attraction to masculinity, perhaps. Since we have it next to this moving on card, if we squint our eyes and just look at it a bit more high level, he may have a hard time coming out or revealing that he is interested in men, because when we think of moving and the idea of growth and the idea of coming out is a part of someone growing and moving on, followed by this Divine Masculine, it could be saying that he is very sensitive about the news of him being interested in men being exposed, and that's keeping him stuck somehow. But I wonder what this manipulation card is pointing to. Many would assume that it could be his wife Jada was very manipulative to him, but this could also be referring to some elements in his maybe business life, that he kind of has to keep up a certain appearance because there's someone pulling the strings above him. Let's pull a few more cards out. And all of this is alleged, no facts, no truth, just tarot and oracle cards. So we have, yikes, entity attachment, but in reverse. So seems like Will Smith may be breaking free from some attachments, and that is supposed to be good, but it still seems like energetically it's a difficult time for him, that he's having a hard time removing himself from the aftermath of having negative attachments. Seems like he wants to not have this stain, or what he might perceive as a stain, if he were to admit that he had attraction to men. He wants to detach himself from that and not not allow that to be revealed or exposed, but he can't help the fact that he indeed has some attraction, allegedly. No facts, no truth, just tarot. And it seems like the energy that I'm getting so far, this is like something very haunting and very double-edged sword from him, because if you're able to make it believable for the public that you never had interest in men, then you're living a life that you're not able to live out loud. You're not able to live fully, which is keeping you stuck. Whereas on the other side of things, if you do come out with this information, then you feel that emotionally you won't be able to accept the perception of you in the public because you're so sensitive, because you are so maybe emotional about what accepting this I can't say that. I can't say that. But yeah, let me pull out a few more cards before I continue to dive further into. I just said this. Look at that. Imprisonment. So it's like he's keeping himself stuck. Will Smith is feeling trapped. In this case, he's doing the lesser of two evils by not admitting this in public, and this could also be saying that there's some truth to the rumors, but people are taking the truth and running with it, making it worse, which is the downside of not being open, or what do you call it? Not being out of the closet, or not being, do they say open? Yeah, not being out with it. So not being out. The bad thing is people can take the innocent truth, because maybe if he had something with a man, it probably wasn't as dark and devious, but because he's keeping that on the down low, that allows people to twist it around and make it negative, make it sound worse than what it was. And that's a trap for him. That's keeping him stuck. That's imprisonment somehow. But it seems like there's a lot of internal conflict for Will Smith that he has around this lingering idea of him possibly being interested in men, or having had in the past experiences with men. Let's get a few more cards out. Okay, we have message and we have awakening. So it could be that someone comes forward with some information about Will Smith, or he himself will continue to put messaging out there to keep a certain narrative going. And that's preventing Will from really stepping into his better self, his true self, his enlightened self. So we are repeating this theme of blockages, suppression, imprisonment, internal conflict, even somewhat of spiritual conflict. There's something about this divine masculine and entity attachment that feels like spiritual shame or spiritual guilt about not living in one's truth, not living out and loud and proud, and that creating blockages and keeping one stifled and stuck and unhappy. The energy is somewhat of unhappiness, because it's a lot of work to constantly put the messaging out there that I'm a certain way. Let me distract you from this. I believe he's releasing a series where he's traveling the world, and we've seen in the past that on his social media he's jumping out of planes, and he's doing so many things to give the effect of happiness and a full life, and distract the public from the rumors and try to overcome all of that. But it seems like there is a lingering confrontation, I would say. There's something lingering that is keeping him stuck internally, and it might be a matter of time before society kind of gets the full picture. Let's see, I might leave it there. Yeah, Thief of Joy. What else is after these? Karma, travel, twin flame, yikes, commitment. Yeah, he's over that marriage. So I would leave it there. Yeah, it feels like that's the last card that we're getting on this, because the other cards don't seem too pertinent. But yeah, it seems like that is some ongoing conflict that Will Smith is dealing with or will continue to deal with. And we wish him well on stepping into his truth in his own time. And if this is not the truth, of course, we can't force anyone to admit to things that they're not even doing. This is just for entertainment. No facts, no truth, just tarot. So thank you, Spirit, for these messages. Let's move on. All right, who else did you guys want to see readings on tonight? I will do, oh, Zendaya. No, I'll do this Louis Tomlinson because this was a request from Donna Hamilton. So let's get a deck out for that. All right, so this is a request from Donna Hamilton. She requested a reading on Louis Tomlinson and his current girlfriend, Zara McDermott. So I recently uploaded the video clip of my reading between Louis Tomlinson and Harry Styles. I'll put that link on the screen for those of you that want to check that out. But Donna let me know that Louis is currently with Zara. And since Louis is releasing an album soon, I think it's a good time to check in on that relationship. So Louis Tomlinson is a 34-year-old Capricorn. He's actually a Christmas Eve baby. And he is a singer from the band One Direction. This is a UK band. He has a 9-year-old son from a previous partner, Brianna. Louis will be releasing his third album next weekend, and he announced an international tour, which actually Zayn Malik recently announced on his birthday, January 12th, that he will be touring the Americas and UK as well. So One Direction fans are getting fed this year. Now, Zara McDermott, she is 29. She's a Sagittarius. She is a TV personality and contestant, former contestant on Love Island UK. So she is part of that same world as Olandria. So they've been together for this past year. People are wondering, will they get married? Will they have kids? What is the energy between them? So let me just do an extra shuffle here to get an idea on what is going on for Louis and Zara. Spirit, let me get a few cards out for Louis and Zara. Spirit, what's to come for Louis Tomlinson and Zara McDermott, I think it is. I closed my notes already, so I don't know if that's how to properly pronounce it. But let's see if we can get a few cards out for Louis and Zara. Spirit, what's to come for Louis and Zara? What's the true dynamic of that relationship? Because it seems like they moved in together pretty quickly based off of what the fandom was saying or what they were able to learn of the relationship. People are just wondering what's going on there. Uh-oh, 5 of Cups. Someone may come to be disappointed. They may be grieving a loss eventually. So we can assume that this is something to do with the relationship not going as one had planned. This could also be something in someone's personal life. Maybe someone passes away and there's grief and loss in that way where they have to support each other. The following card should help us get some clarity. Ooh, yikes. There might be fights and conflicts with this 5 of Swords. There might be pettiness. There might be someone playing dirty to win at all costs. So 5 of Swords following this 5 of Cups. In the tarot, when we see the suits, it's from 1 to 10, and that's usually the completion of some experience. The fives in the middle are usually the most challenging stage. So they may be in the middle of their relationship, and this might be a year for them that will be a make or break. Maybe while Louis Tomlinson is releasing new music and touring, this could be a big test and challenge on their relationship that may be difficult for them. Maybe Louis might be a little selfish at this time when he's prioritizing his work projects, and that may be a bit hurtful, disappointing to Zara. So this will be a trying year for them, for their relationship. And if they make it through this year, then maybe they'll be able to continue along the cycle of their relationship potentially. But let's see what the following cards say. We have the Three of Pentacles. Never good to see the threes in a love reading. So this indicates that there could be a third wheel, but we could also say that this could indicate that Louis will be busy working with others, since the Three of Pentacles is usually about colleagues, co-workers, collaboration. So maybe this could be saying that Zara will work with him, will work with his demanding schedule, even though she feels that it's unfair and imbalanced, and it's something that leads to a lot of conflicts and arguments in their relationship. She will just deal with it because she would like to make the relationship work. Maybe she's busy too. I don't know if she also has a very busy career. I just saw the little tidbits that she was a TV personality. And hi, Cypher. And this Five of Cups of someone experiencing a sense of loss and grief and disappointment, and maybe even feeling abandoned, is why I'm feeling that off of these three cards. Before I even continue, it seems like they may not make it far, because this is not a healthy energy to continue a relationship long term. But it seems like temporarily Zara may be putting up with it, getting along to go along, or going along to get along. Going along to get along. Yeah, there is a lot of internal conflict. So the High Priestess is usually telling one to listen to their intuition, but when it's in reverse, it's saying that there's rumors, there's gossips, there's secrets, and someone's not dealing with it in a way that is going to help them take steps forward. They might be ignoring whatever they're feeling on the inside. They might be ignoring that information that is trying to guide them into either stepping out of this relationship because this imbalance is unfair. It's leaving you feeling abandoned, or grieving, or loss is causing you to overcompromise, and it's not allowing you to, you're not listening to your inner voice, and you are sort of sacrificing yourself. So we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, indicating that someone may need to cut their losses. So when the attacks are growing to be too much, someone needs to recognize that this is a losing battle, or you may be putting too much into this to try to win this challenge or these obstacles, that you may be better off cutting your losses. And that is somewhat communicating someone giving up in a relationship and deciding that it's not worth the trouble to keep fighting against these challenges, these elements, this environment, these circumstances, because I am fatigued, I'm tired of fighting, or I just don't see that I'm going to win in the end. Because for us to keep the relationship, I have to do it the way you want to, and that's leaving me feeling abandoned, alone, depleted, imbalanced. And this is probably someone stepping back, giving up on the relationship, giving up on the fighting and the arguments. Yeah, it looks like that relationship's going to come to an end with this Death card. That relationship may come to an end, and it may be necessary for someone to step into a better stage of their life, since the Death card is usually about transformation. The King of Pentacles. This is someone that is very stubborn and maybe even greedy, But usually this indicates someone that is very focused on their finances and their business to the point where it may work against them. So it could be that Lewis is in this energy of just focusing on business, focusing on the tour, the music, and he's okay with letting this relationship go if it has to. But King of Pentacles could also be someone else, someone advising to move in a certain way with business that at first you think, okay, this is someone that knows what they're talking about. This might be the best way to proceed. And then once you're on the other side of things, you realize actually that was not that was not the best way to proceed. That was not the best choice to approach the business or the priorities that way. So this could be an advisor, or it could be Lewis himself making these decisions, these business decisions that are not necessarily the best. And it could be based on someone that is very stubborn, someone being very stubborn. Eight of Wands, upright. So this indicates there's a lot of movement. So this is like travel. As I said in the beginning, since Lewis will be touring, he will be very busy. And this is usually positive. That momentum usually works in someone's favor. This is a time of change. Usually the Eight of Wands means quick change. So if they do break up, it seems like it's something that will happen very fast. It might even happen while he's on tour. That Eight of Wands could be indicating something along those lines. I'll take a quick peek at whatever's here. Yeah, long-term finances, legacy, Eight of Pentacles, someone working towards a goal that the work is not going as planned. So maybe Zara is putting so much effort into this and it's not going to reap the rewards that she wanted or hoped. Lewis's mind is on his long-term earning potential, his long-term legacy. So he's prioritizing that while she is left feeling a bit sad, a bit heartbroken, a bit disappointed. And then we have Two of Wands reverse, meaning a plan does not go as planned. Someone didn't plan or prepare properly. And this is the Nine of Swords, indicating someone experiencing great anxiety, fear, nightmares. This is a mental state that is unhealthy, of course, where someone is very affected by what they perceive to be something that is worthy of being fearful, something that they are very worried about. So this is very, very much indicating that Zara, most likely, or maybe it could be Lewis as well, but there's someone in this relationship that will be very disappointed, very worried, very much bearing the brunt of trying to keep this relationship going when all along they see that it's ultimately going to come to an end. It needs to come to an end based off of this card. And someone's plan to make it go further is not going to work out. Someone, probably Lewis, has his eye on the world and growing in his career and his business ambitions at this time with those cards that we saw from the Suit of Pentacles and this Eight of Wands card. So looks like this will be, as I said at the beginning of the reading, a very challenging year for the relationship, and ultimately they might end up breaking up. But in the meantime, may they enjoy whatever they are enjoying of themselves. I don't know much about this couple. I just did this reading because it was requested. And of course, when I look for pictures for the thumbnail is when I kind of get a little quick energy peek into the couple and kind of feel things out. They looked like a nice couple. It looked like they were enjoying each other's company, but maybe it's just a good time for now, not a good time forever. So wish them well, wish them luck on their relationship. Hopefully these cards are wrong and they're able to enjoy each other if indeed they do, if they love each other, if they are a complementary couple. But based off of those cards, it did not indicate that things will be growing as much as one of them would like. Okay, so let's move on to the next reading. I think we should maybe do Zendaya. So many have been asking, is Zendaya pregnant by her fiance Tom Holland? Are they pregnant? Will they get married this year? So Zendaya and Tim Holland have been engaged since late 2024. They are both actors. Holland is famous for Spider-Man, and Zendaya is famous for being in a series called Euphoria, as well as also being in the Spider-Man films. That is where they met, on the set of Spider-Man. They went public with their relationship in 2021, and they have been engaged since late 2024. So the wedding planning seems to be slowed down due to their busy schedules, since Zendaya is currently filming the sci-fi movie Dune, and Holland is doing a film for the Marvel Universe. So let's get a few cards out to see if there's any truth to these rumors that Zendaya may be pregnant, since a few fans saw that she was wearing baggier clothes than usual during a time that I think it was out of season. Maybe it was like other people in some of the pictures that the fandemonium was using to speculate with this rumor. It was like maybe a summertime situation where the people that Zendaya was taking a picture with, they were in more summery light clothes, whereas Zendaya's in a coat or something like that. It could be something as simple as that is enough to start rumors about a pregnancy. So let's see if there's any truth to that. And let's see if we will see them actually get married this year, Spirit. Let's get a few cards out to see if Zendaya, who is 29, she is a Virgo, and Tom Holland, who is also 29, he is a Gemini. Let's get a few cards out to see if they will actually get married this year, and are they pregnant? Try that again. Having a hard time shuffling tonight. All right, Spirit. Let's see if Zendaya and Tom Holland will get married this year. Will their wedding be this year? Spirit, let's get a few cards out for that. And then we'll also see, is Zendaya pregnant? Spirit, let's get a few cards out for Zendaya and Tim Holland. Let me just fix my deck here. Ooh. Well, that is not right. These are the same cards from before. Let me just shuffle again. Hi, Dizzy. Welcome, welcome. Oh, really? Kuchunga said Virgos and Geminis don't go together. Is that right? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that pairing. Virgos are earth, Gemini is air. So it seems like they're a very happy couple, but we haven't really seen much of them in this past year. So many people are curious. Maybe you're onto something, Kuchunga. Maybe you're onto something. Let's see if the cards can tell us more. Spirit, what can you tell us about Zendaya and Tom Holland? Will they get married this year? Are they expecting? What is the truth behind their relationship? I keep getting this Five of Swords. I guess I should accept. Oh. The reason I gasp is because I see the Empress card in reverse, which indicates something to do with pregnancy, but in reverse, that indicates nope. All right, so I wasn't going to take these because usually when it's this many cards, I throw them back in and shuffle, but let's consider these cards. So first we have the Five of Swords, which indicates that after a period of conflict, both sides are looking for peace and compromise. So it could be that there was a difficult time in the relationship that they have now gotten on the other side of that. We're seeing the Six of Pentacles in reverse, indicating an uneven exchange, give and take that is not balanced. So this could be energy vampirism. This could be that whoever is more abundant in the relationship was given to the other and not getting enough back. So that could be the conflict that they were getting on the other side of. This could be that one of them is putting more effort into the relationship than the other. There is some imbalance there, either literally in terms of financial resources or figuratively in terms of energy and effort. We have the Queen of Cups reversed. So there's someone that is either lacking in compassion and emotionally withdrawn, or this could indicate someone that is very codependent, someone that's very needy in a relationship emotionally. We have the Empress card in reverse. This indicates someone who is lacking in confidence, maybe even experiencing creative blocks. But I would take this to indicate that Zendaya is not pregnant. Zendaya is not pregnant, since we did ask that when we were shuffling the cards, and the Empress card is usually the divine feminine that is about fertility. Usually in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot cards, we see a woman that looks like she could be pregnant. So since we're seeing this in reverse, we could say she is not pregnant. And there is something to do with healing, since we're seeing this Three of Swords card in reverse. So we started the reading off with this Five of Swords card. So there may have been a rough patch in the relationship between Zendaya and Tom Holland, and they have gotten on the other side of that to where now there is peace, now there is compromise, and now there is healing and recovery and forgiveness based off of these cards. Let's get a few more out to see if we'll see them get married. So this is going back to what we saw in that Six of Pentacles in reverse. We're now seeing the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, once more reinforcing this idea of an imbalance, an unfair give and take. Someone's putting more into the relationship, investing more effort, more time into the relationship, and not getting enough back. And this usually indicates that someone needs to reconsider. Someone needs to change their plan or redirect their efforts into either something or someone else, or change things within the relationship dynamic to make it work better for you. So I wonder if maybe because they are both dedicated to their current projects as actors, they're currently working on some very demanding films, that is causing some difficulty in their relationship, where they're not able to be there for each other as they once were. When they were both working on Spider-Man, they had plenty of time to be together and kill two birds with one stone, because they're enjoying each other's company while also working. It's a lot different when now you guys are both on separate projects and not able to spend as much time together. So I wonder if maybe some of the quarrel, maybe some of this potential conflict or argument could have been around, when are we moving forward with the wedding? When are we actually going to prioritize us and taking the next steps in our future? And they have temporarily found peace with that, where it's like, well, we're not doing it now, we're going to focus on our things. But someone in the relationship still feels like, there's an imbalance here. Something is not even. There's not an even exchange, and I may not be getting what I want out of this based of all of the time that I've invested in this relationship, all of the effort, all of the sacrifice. So hello, Misty. Just reading your message. After everything that happened. Oh yeah, are you speaking about Anthony Joshua? I did a couple readings on him. If you want to either look at the lives or the clip, I uploaded the clip individually. So I did see what's coming for him, as well as what really happened in that car crash. If you want to have a look at that. Love some AJ. Wow, that is eye candy that I'd love to see in this show again. Well, hold on. Let me run that back. I got distracted here. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, there we go. All right. Yes, AJ, Anthony Joshua. Great. So you go ahead, check that out. And if there's any different question, I wouldn't mind doing another reading on him, because he is great eye candy. Would love to see him on my channel again. All right. Thanks, Misty. So continuing with this reading on Zendaya and Tom Holland, we now have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. This indicates that someone is working against a person. So this could be someone's co-workers or someone's work environment is working against them. So as I was saying before, it could be that because they're both on very demanding projects at this time, that work schedule is working against them. we're kind of basically just getting a repeat of some things that I was already saying. And then we have this Page of Swords, indicating that someone is feeling very talkative, curious, energized, maybe even has a thirst for knowledge, wanting to learn new things. But usually when we see this Page of Swords, this indicates a messenger, someone that may want to come out with some information. So maybe Zendaya and Tom Holland may have an announcement to make this year. They might announce when their wedding is, or they may announce that the engagements is called off. We didn't really get any clarity here in terms of where things stand in the relationship. It just indicated, the cards indicated that there is some rough patch that they have gotten over, but it's still not completely at a place where they are prepared to move forward. The only thing we definitely got confirmation of is that Zendaya is not pregnant. Let's see, a few more cards before I end this. Wow, they will move forward with the wedding. This Two of Cups, this is about mutual attraction, partnership, proposals. So I would take this to indicate, yes, wedding, because this Chariot card, let me show you guys both of them here as well. Two of Cups, Chariot card. This Chariot card indicates determination, willpower, someone that's going to power forward, that's very dedicated and determined and motivated to bring a goal to reality. So I would say that while we are seeing that things are currently, they're both in a somewhat distracted stage, ultimately they will move forward with their wedding, and they truly love each other, which is really nice to see. And so, as I was saying with this Page of Swords, we might hear an announcement this year about when is the wedding. And it's great that they will find time to prioritize that, since it looked like that was a concern earlier on in the reading. Yikes. So there is this Four of Cups indicating a sense of contemplation. There might be some contemplation and maybe even some disinterest or dissatisfaction in something to do with this relationship, perhaps something to do with the planning of the wedding. So maybe that's part of why they're dragging their feet. It could be that they are very drained from dedicating themselves to their projects, because when we look at the Four of Cups, it's saying that someone is not receptive to more. They may be drained or uninterested in receiving more of something that may be very draining and demanding upon them after focusing on those acting projects where they have to already give so much of themselves emotionally and energetically. So it could be that that's why there is some delay in clarifying the details of when that wedding is moving forward, but it will move forward. It's just a matter of time. Although the concern here is this Strength card in reverse, which indicates that there may be some sort of insecurity or self-doubt. So someone might be having doubts about moving forward with this relationship. Let's actually pull out a few more cards, because this is taking a twist, since I'm seeing out of the corner of my eye, there is this Devil card that is peeking out from the bottom of one of the decks. Wait, how do I? Here we go. So after this card indicating self-doubts, insecurities, and weakness, we're seeing El Diablo and the Hangman. I'm going to stop here because we can go all night if I don't. So there may be some hesitation in moving forward in this relationship, since we're looking at this series of cards that just popped out towards the end. Someone's having second thoughts, doubts, and hesitations, because there may be some attachments that one of the people in this relationship is observing of the other. He is, or she is, perhaps codependent, needy. There's someone that still needs to do some work on themselves, some shadow work, or there may be some attachments that are not necessarily about someone's attachment style, but it could be that there are some vices that someone engages in, or some unhealthy habits, unhealthy patterns, maybe even bad influences that someone is a bit hesitant and concerned about, in terms of, I need to see this cleared up before I can really walk down the aisle and move forward with locking in with this person for the rest of my life. So this is the first time we're seeing something to indicate a reason as to why things may have slowed down in the planning of the relationship. Because prior, it seemed like there may have been something to do with work that has been keeping them busy and distracted. But ultimately, there is something about the other person that one of the people in this Zendaya and Tim Holland relationship are hesitant and concerned about. And that is part of the reason that there's hesitation about walking down the aisle. And this hangman in reverse indicates someone that does not want to release control, someone that is not ready to surrender. So this indicates someone in that relationship is not ready to get married. Interesting, because at first it seemed like it was all about work, work, work. Once work is out of the way, then we'll move forward with making the announcement of our marriage, our wedding. But I have doubts. I'm actually concerned about being with this person for the rest of my life. And that's causing the delay, as we see in this hangman in reverse. So I think I'll leave it there, because we also saw at the bottom of these decks this Knight of Wands, indicating someone that tends to get very frustrated and angry and can be very impulsive and can be very fiery and putting their energy and their aggression in the wrong direction. Maybe even a little immature. But we also see someone who's very compassionate with this King of Cups, someone who is emotionally stable or emotionally mature, emotionally balanced. So they balance themselves out somehow. If this is indeed, one of them is fiery and one of them is more patient and emotional, but we didn't really see cards to indicate that they will for sure make it into a happily ever after. We ended up basically saying that there's doubts. They're holding on. They're yinging and yanging right now, but there's doubts and delays. So we will leave it there for Zendaya and Tom Holland. And once there's a bit of news about them, we can always do another energy check. But this is just what the cards are saying for the energy right now. Hopefully it's wrong. Time will tell. All right, so who should we do a reading on next? Let's see what's happening in the comments. Looks like they know each other since 2016. She's a Virgo, and it looks like she is not too much into him. Oh, really? Maybe she was into him before, and maybe she's a little over him now. So who else did I have here? All right, you guys tell me, do you want to hear about Nick Jonas and Priyanka, or do you want to hear about Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens? I'm kind of curious about Simone and Jonathan, but let me see if I could do a Nick Jonas and Priyanka real quick. Okay, so Nick Jonas and Priyanka showed their face at the Golden Globes as well, looking great as always, but some people were saying that they seemed a little awkward. So we can just take a look at what is the dynamic in their relationship. Nick Jonas, the Jersey boy from the popular boy band, the Jonas Brothers, he married Priyanka Chopra in December 2018. They've been together for over 7 years. They share a daughter named Malti Marie, who was born via surrogate in January 2022. So that baby is turning 4 this year. Nick Jonas is 33. He's a Virgo, singer-actor. Priyanka Chopra is a Cancer. She's 43, so they have a 10-year age difference. She is a beautiful actress. So let's see what the cards can tell us about their dynamic, Spirit. Just fix up my beautiful cards here. Okay. It's not here. Gotta do it live since I am streaming with you all. I usually handle these things before I come on, but since we're switching a lot of decks tonight, gotta do it live. All right. Spirit, what can you tell me? Oh, wait a second. That's what happens when you shuffle without looking, as I have to do while I'm recording, because I have to look up all the time to make sure that I'm still visible, since I often experience technological differences. Technological difficulties, I should say. I often experience technological difficulties. So, Spirit, what can you tell me about Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra, Spirit? Let's get a few cards out for Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra. Oh. Ooh, nice. Okay. So there is a lot of passion between them. They are genuinely attracted to each other with this Ace of Wands upright. But the Seven of Pentacles in reverse indicates that one may be overgiving in the relationship. One may be giving more than the other, because usually this indicates that someone is investing a lot of time, effort, and resources into something, but not getting the rewards or the outcome that they expected. So this usually indicates that someone needs to change their priorities or adjust their plan so that they are able to get more out of a situation, in this case, this relationship. So there is some imbalance in the relationship that needs to be recalibrated, but at least there is mutual attraction, passion, interest, and excitement between the two. We have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So this indicates that there is someone in the relationship that may be considering their independence, because upright, this is about someone that is independent, self-sufficient, and enjoying their financial rewards, their luxurious life. But in reverse, this indicates that either someone did something wrong to not end up with the rewards and financial resources that they should be. So this could be a financial failure, or this could indicate that someone is longing for their independence and longing for their self-sufficiency. Or one more interpretation, the self-sufficiency could turn into selfishness. So someone may actually be thinking about themselves in that relationship, since we did see the Seven of Pentacles in reverse that I told you before indicated a sense of overgiving. Someone may be overgiving and someone may be selfish and thinking of themselves. So let's get a few more cards out in this Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra reading. Intuition with this High Priestess. So this High Priestess card upright indicates that someone should be listening to their inside voice. They may already know that something's off, that something's imbalanced, and it's a matter of what they do with that information. So if you have a hunch, that gut feeling is already there. What are you going to do about it is what this card is kind of indicating, that you already know something's off. Let's see, how do you guys pivot or adjust? Yikes, the Ten of Pentacles. This indicates that long-term wealth, prosperity, legacy is not going well. Long-term wealth, prosperity, and legacy of a family, I should say. Sorry, there's a dog barking, so I just... It never ends. There's always something. It's always something to distract and disturb me when I'm trying to do these live streams, which is why I can't go live as often as I would like. But let me try to get back on track. So this card indicates that there is something going wrong with the long-term legacy or long-term investments and finances of a family. This could also just indicate a couple long-term. The long-term potential of a couple is challenged with this Ten of Pentacles card in reverse. So they may be having some difficulties at this time with their brand, with their finances, that are contributing to creating some challenges in the relationship. So I wonder what that could be, because it seems like Jonas has the coins. It seems like he has long money. So I would be very surprised if they're dealing with any sort of financial problems. It seems more so like this is representing the relationship. Like there is something in their relationship that is challenging them long term. And I would think that it's this imbalance of someone giving more into the relationship while someone is more about taking and being selfish and focusing on themselves. So the Emperor card has popped out, and this is someone that is a father figure that is very disciplined. It's very much about routine, structure, but this could also be representative of business. So someone in the relationship is very focused on business, or someone in the relationship is calling the shots. This would also indicate that someone is very bossy and keeping the relationship running in a certain way. But since it's upright, it's usually not negative. It's just because it comes after this 10 of Pentacles. It's bringing me back to this idea of financial challenges. Since this is representative of a person or business, could be some business challenges that are not allowing them to recoup as much financial rewards as they could if they were independent. Yikes. I wonder if this is saying that one of the people in this relationship feels like, now that we are a couple, I'm not getting as much interest in the financial opportunities or the business opportunities. I would probably be better off if I am out there single, than I would have gotten, better gigs, better opportunities. But nothing indicates a breakup. They do genuinely like each other. It's just that there seems to be a lot of concerns around business and finance, since we have 2 cards from the Suit of Pentacles and now this Emperor card. So let's see where this is going. Someone in that relationship is either bossy, calling the shots, or someone is very, very driven by their business interests. And if this relationship comes in the way of that, then we'll see what happens in that relationship. But so far, it seems like they're solid. Someone from the past, though, someone or something from the past may pose a problem. This is the 6 of Cups reversed. So I wonder if someone revisits or rekindles with someone from the past. I feel like Priyanka and Jonas got together when he was so young that I'm like, well, who would he be rekindling with? This could possibly be more so about someone returning to something in their roots. Maybe, no. I was thinking, maybe she wants to go back to being based in India, have the family based there, and that's part of what is creating just a little bit of friction, a little bit of disagreement, or something about the past, because, since Priyanka is originally from India, maybe she wants to spend a little more time over there. Or it could be something or someone from either of their pasts that they're dealing with in a way that's not beneficial to them. This could be something to do with career, like whatever they were doing in the past. Maybe they have a reunion for the Jonas brothers. Maybe Priyanka reunites with some people that she worked with, or something from the past that does not go well. It doesn't have to be a lover or a hometown. I wonder what that could be. Let's pull out a few more cards. Okay, so we have the Judgment card, and this is about purpose and one's calling. So it could be that someone is looking to level up and step into a different stage than where they are currently in this relationship. Let me get a little more information here. 7 of Cups, Page of Swords. We have the Ace of Cups reversed. We have the Tower card in reverse. Yeah, it's not looking too good, but with this series of cards that just came out, first we have the 7 of Cups, indicating many options, many choices, many illusions. So someone has some decisions to make in order for them to level up, or what they think is leveling up. They may be contemplating, am I better off? Are my business opportunities and prospects better if I rebrand myself as someone that is single in my solitude? Am I able to earn more long-term that way? Or is it just an illusion? Am I just assuming the grass is greener on the other side when it really isn't? Because I do love her, I do like her, or vice versa, she really loves him as well. but it seems like someone's either distracted, picking from different options, maybe even entertaining someone from the past, if this is about a past romance, or someone is just really concerned about how do I level up, most likely leveling up in business. How do I level up my brand? How do I level up to attract better opportunities? Is my brand fading and fizzling while I am in this relationship, in this marriage? Do I have enough money long term to maintain this relationship as is without thinking about my brand and my image? Or do I want to make a move? Do I want to make a change in order to secure more opportunities? So someone's really trying to figure out their priorities. And we had these following cards: Page of Swords in reverse, indicating someone who is a poor communicator. So this is someone who may be very defensive, or they may be incompetent, but this poor communication is always going to be problematic in any relationship. And it could be that someone is looking to make a change in that relationship, and their partner or their spouse will be the last to know because they don't really talk it out with them and say, well, these are the issues that I'm having in the relationship, or I feel like this is blocking me from my business opportunities and all these options that are presenting themselves to me that I would like to go and explore. But you want to stick to the home base, the family foundation headquarters, which I think they live in California at this time. They're between California and New York. And then Priyanka does some things in Mumbai. So if Jonas is being called to explore some other options that take him in other parts of the world, that could be some disagreement they have in terms of like, well, you know, we still have a young daughter. We need to maintain some consistency and stability for her. If you're doing all of that and then I'm already jumping between these three markets, you know, how are we going to make that work? So it seems like this is something that they really need to work through and communicate. And one of them is not being the best communicator because they're thinking about themselves, according to these cards. As a reminder, this is just for entertainment, no facts, no truth, just tarot. So these last two cards here, we have the Tower, which means the avoidance of a disaster. So there may be some things in the relationship that may be threatening the relationship, trying to bring the relationship to an end. As we saw earlier, there were some imbalances. There was someone that's giving more and the other one that's taking more. But this Tower card indicates that they will avoid that potential collapse of the relationship. They will try to make it work. And this Ace of Cups card indicates that someone's cup is half empty. Someone may be feeling an emotional loss or emotional blockages, which is part of why their communication is not that good. The emotional blockage doesn't allow them to express themselves well, communicate in a way that is considerate and informative for their partner. This could be that someone might even lose a loved one that's outside of this relationship, and that contributes to their change in priorities. If someone passes away, like a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, if someone were to pass away, you're going to feel completely different in terms of who and what you're prioritizing. But this half-empty cup is problematic because, of course, in any relationship, you want to be full, you want to feel full and complete, and that could indicate some sort of problems where someone is either falling out of love or emotionally withdrawn, because this could also indicate apathy. This emotional loss could indicate that someone is emotionally blocked and not really fully expressing their emotions, which we saw some of that here with this poor communication card. So I wonder where that will go. Interestingly enough, we're seeing the same two cards that we saw at the end of the previous Zendaya and Tom Holland reading, the Devil card and the Strength card, but I won't accept those since we already pulled an extra row of cards here. So what do you all think? Is this surprising? I'm a little surprised, but I mean, at this point, I shouldn't be surprised on anything I see about celebrities. We have seen enough readings to know that, things are never what they seem. So as happy as relationships seem in the public eye, there's always a different story behind the scenes that we are usually the last to know the reality of what the dynamics are in a relationship, and the priorities that people have can change throughout people's lives, throughout people's relationships. So you may have started off really into somebody and really into the family building, and now you're shifting your priorities into something more business. You're starting to want to explore new options, new opportunities, and that is causing you to kind of shut down in your communication and in your emotions, and not be the kind of person that that your spouse originally fell in love with. So seems like someone's ambition and someone's curiosity is starting to cause a bit of shift in this relationship. So we will see what the future holds for that beautiful couple, Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra. After we hear a little bit of what's going on with them, we can always revisit and do another reading on them. So let's see. Let's move on to our next reading, which I think we're going to do Simone Biles and her husband, Jonathan. Let me get my notes open so I can see what their full name is. Jonathan Owens. There we go. Oh, actually, no. Before I switch off to Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens, let me do a quick reading on Miley Cyrus, since we're still in this awards season, Golden Globes, post Golden Globes chat, because Priyanka and Nick were at the Golden Globes, and so was Miley, I think, or she was definitely showing her face at a lot of the recent awards, because Miley Cyrus got an award at the Palm Springs Film Festival for her song in the new Avatar movie. So good for her. She didn't get the Golden Globe, but she got something. So it's great that Miley is being recognized during this award season. But it is, sorry, let me catch all my notes here. Yes. So it is great that Miley is being recognized during this award season. But what fans are more excited about is that this is Miley's 20th year anniversary of her original Disney role that brought her to stardom, the Hannah Montana. So it's a good time to look into what's to come for Miley Cyrus this year. Will this be a big comeback year for her, since we're already seeing her get some recognitions and wins in this award season? Or is she going to just chill after this award season, because she recently got engaged? So maybe she will just lay low and focus on her wedding planning. Let's see what the cards say. Or actually, the question that's written here, and the question that was requested, will Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga ever do music together? And I'm so interested in that, because I love both of their voices. I would love to hear, my dream as a fan of both of their voices. I don't know Miley's music much. I know a little more of Gaga's, but just when I hear their voices, I'm like, wow, so beautiful, so powerful. I would love to hear Lady Gaga do Miley Cyrus Flowers, and I would love to hear Miley do Bad Romance. And then if they have their own song, like, I just would love to see them perform it in that order. Each of them do each other's song and then perform whatever new song they could do for us. But I'm so surprised they've never collaborated, because they seem so much alike. They're both fire signs. Miley's a Sagittarius. Lady Gaga is an Aries. They both are, well, Miley was, they both are, sorry. Let me get some water. Hi, Dizzy. I can add your request to my list. I see that you are requesting a reading for Eminem. Interesting. Is there news going on with Eminem? We haven't seen him in a while. I've never done a reading on him on my channel, so I can consider that. I can add it to my list for a future reading. All right, so let's get into this reading on, oh, He's your favorite rapper. Nice. Okay. Well, I wonder if there's any news about him. I'll look into it. I did a couple rappers on my channel. Did I? I mean, kind of, yes. I recently did 50 Cent and Jay-Z, so you guys can look for that. It's the Diddy'd special stream that I did a couple of weeks ago. So you guys can look into that. Yeah, you can check my channel, Dizzy. It's on the YouTube if you want to see the replay on that. All right, so let's pull out a few cards for Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga. Spirit, will Miley and Gaga ever do music together? Because, as I was saying before, it seems like they have such great voices, similar, almost a little similar in terms of the power and the grit, and their personal styles are both so edgy, and they're both currently engaged. They both are fire signs. They both have no kids. So it feels like it's the perfect time for them to just do one, you know, edgy, wild, funky girl collab. And when I say funky, I'm just thinking about how Gaga always dressed so funky. And I came to learn of Miley during her bangers era when she was doing the wrecking ball and twerking it and being ratchet. It was fun to see her just, you know, being wild and, you know, in that element. So let's see, will they ever collab? Will these two great voices, these two powerful, beautiful voices ever collab? Spirit, let's get a few cards out for Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga. Whoa! Surprised to see that the first card is El Diablo, the devil card. Let me just get my notes out of the way. So the first card that popped out was the devil. Yikes. Feels like that's a no. It could be that they each have different commitments, priorities, or some sort of addictions or attachments at this time that may be preventing them from moving forward with a collaboration. Maybe even some industry executives that may be heavy-handed in preventing them from working together. Let's see if we can get some more clarity, because definitely didn't expect to see that. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So this indicates a work-life conflict. Interesting. So maybe because they're prioritizing their personal lives, and maybe one of them, this feels like Gaga. Doesn't it look a little bit like her? Maybe one of them is prioritizing their personal life, whereas the other is prioritizing work, and maybe they just can't align their schedules. We haven't seen much of Gaga recently. I think she did her house, whatever. It's like a cosmetics line, and I don't know if she's been working anything recently. Last time I personally saw her was for the Olympics when she performed at the opening ceremonies, and then I think there was some controversy maybe last summer where she did some performances where people were saying that it felt very dark and demonic, whatever performance she did. I don't know if it was a Coachella. It was some festival where Gaga performed and people were just like, yikes. So that's the last sort of news that I heard about Gaga, other than her being engaged. And maybe she's just focused on her personal things at this time, whereas Miley is more in the season and in the spirit of her grind at this time, especially with the 20th year anniversary for her. So let's see if we can get some more cards, because I still don't have much clarity, but I'm surprised that we're starting off that way. Oh, by the way, this could also mean, because I know I explained that this is work-life conflict. So meaning you don't have a good work-life balance, meaning one of them prioritizes one over the other, and that's why they can't align their schedules. But also this could mean someone that is very suffocating and nagging. So maybe there is the element of someone that is maybe intense to work with, either Gaga or Miley. It feels more like it's Gaga. Maybe Gaga is a little more intense in her creative. So, you know, that might make it harder to work with someone like Miley, who also likes to have things a certain way. And that could be contributing to why it may be a little difficult for them to work on a project together. Not only the schedule conflicts, but also the working styles. Gaga may be very intense about nurturing her creative projects, and Miley may have a different approach that maybe it doesn't work together, or maybe not yet. At least I'm hoping that we can get something from them down the line. I would just love to see them at least perform together. I think they would be great, but let's see. 6 of Cups reversed, indicating something negative about the past. Yikes, maybe they tried to in the past and it didn't work out, or maybe, as I was thinking earlier, there may have been something in the industry, something in their management teams, or there's some external force that may be keeping them from working together because of something in the past. Like, okay, my label and my management team had whatever experience with your label and your management team way back when, and because of that, now we can't work together. Feels like external forces, but definitely something from the past, and something negative from the past that's not allowing them to move forward, along with their personal differences in priorities at this time, causing difficulties in scheduling as well as in the work style from each of them. So we have the Judgment card. This is a wild card. Didn't expect to see something like this, but this is about someone that is looking to step into their calling, their purpose, someone that's looking to level up. And coming after this card about something about the past, it may be saying, well, this didn't work out in the past, so I do not want to revisit that. I want to step into a new and fresh chapter. So maybe they tried, maybe Miley and Gaga tried to work on something in the past and it didn't work out, and so they don't even want to revisit that. Sad to see that. I hope that's not the case. Okay, so someone is compassionate. Someone is very caring. Someone's very comforting and motherly. So that's a positive, I would say, because it indicates that maybe they at least like each other as people, but there's just so many blockages and external forces contributing to why they have not been able to do music together as yet. But someone would like to. One or both of them would like to, based off of this Queen of Cups, which is a Cancer card. So that's a water sign card, but it does give us a sense of very warm and nurturing or motherly emotions. Ooh, this is a positive. We have the Sun card. So this is about success. This is a big yes card. So maybe they could do it down the road. Maybe Gaga and Miley at this time cannot collab, but maybe in the future. Maybe during the summer, not this summer, but during a summer tour. Maybe they might think that it's a great time to pop out and surprise the fans with something during one of these, because usually the summers have so many festivals and so many outdoor things. So maybe they're thinking that one summer they might link up and do a little something for the fans. I would love that. So they do care. They do like the idea to some extent, enough to be excited about it, because it's about joy and success, happiness. So that's great news. Maybe it could come down the line. I would love that. Yeah, look at that. They're going to work on it. Wow, I'm so happy to see it. So this chariot card indicates determination, power, willpower, getting things done, being aggressive about it even. So the time will come where they will pursue that. It's just that time is not now. But once they work through whatever this is, something from the past, and this bad influence or this negative external force, once they work through that and figure out the schedule, it seems like they will move forward with that, and that will be a very nice experience for not only them but also for the fans. They're thinking they care about the fans and how happy that would make the fan base, everyone that enjoys entertainment, pop music. So it will get done. I love that. Yeah, look at that. They will both enjoy a lot of fame and publicity and recognition from this. So maybe they're going to wait until stars align for them to do it at a time when they can both benefit, which again, I keep feeling like it might be like a summer thing, like pop up at a festival and all of a sudden they are able to surprise the fans unexpectedly. But I'll just take one last look at what's next. Yeah, something to do with the business, the money, just needing to take a few more steps. They're almost there. They're actually close to coming to and agreement or working on a schedule, coming to making a deal with this Nine of Wands. They're almost close to making a deal about it eventually in the future. And the King of Pentacles indicated business, wealth, someone that is very good at creating and generating abundance and wealth. So we finish off with the Seven of Pentacles and the Emperor card. Once again, business, business, business. So we got two big business cards in this reading, and this Seven of Pentacles indicating that someone may be investing in the wrong direction, not getting back what they put into something. So it's just a matter of readjusting the plan, redirecting their efforts. But ultimately, it seems like Gaga and Miley know that it would be a great business decision. Let me actually put this down here so make them all visible as I conclude this reading. It seems like Gaga and Miley and their teams know that it would be a really great business decision for them to collaborate, to do something together that their fans have wanted for a long time. It would be great publicity for both of them. They care about their fan base as well as they like each other, and the businesses will benefit greatly. So it's just a matter of timing, like setting up the schedule to make sure that it's something that works for them. And it may not be too far out. Like it may happen within next couple of years, because this Nine of Wands indicating almost being at the end of something and needing to just be resilient, persevere, and endure a few last steps to get to the end goal. Next to this King of Pentacles card, this businessman, someone that is very good with the money and probably advising or consulting with that, whoever's behind setting up the deals, the contracts and stuff, seems like they're almost there. So I love that. That's great news for those that love both of those artists, Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga. You all tell me what you think. If you think they'll ever collab, if you'd like to see them collaborate, or if you think they're better off on their own. So I'm going to take a quick break, and then I will be back with a couple more readings. See you soon. As the legendary Queen of Tea, Wendy Williams, used to say, grab a snack and come on back. Testing audio. Testing audio. All right, you guys just drop some emojis in the chat to let me know if I'm visible on all platforms so we can resume with the readings. All right, let's see some emojis in the chat. Let's see. You can see me, you can hear me. Just coming back from a break so that I could continue reading with you all. All right, let's see who's next. Make sure you guys can still hear me because my mic shifted. Testing audio. Am I still? Okay, here we go. There we go. This way. Okay, so it looks like we have a reading on Simone Biles and her husband, Jonathan Owens. And then if anyone's interested, I could circle back and do the reading on Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, but it seemed like there was not much interest for that one. So so I will just do this Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens reading. All right. So let's do this reading on Simone Biles and her husband, Jonathan Owens. Simone Biles is a 7-time Olympic gold gymnast. She is 24. She is a Pisces. And she is the most decorated gymnast in the world. Not only with the Olympic Awards, but also the world. Let me see. Yeah. Not only the Olympic Awards, but also World Awards. So She was born in Ohio, raised by her grandparents in the suburbs of Houston, Texas. Her husband, Jonathan Owens, he is 30 years old. He is a Leo pro football player in the NFL, born and raised in the Lou, St. Louis, Missouri, currently playing safety on the Chicago Bears. So we're going to take a look at what is the energy of their relationship, because this couple has experienced quite a few, I wouldn't call them scandals. This headline's kind of being extra, but I would say controversies. So apparently Jonathan Owens has been caught on several occasions what some speculators would think, or what some speculators would say, caught stealing his wife's thunder. So in the past, he sounded very arrogant when speaking about how he met Simone. He'd said something to the effect of, he is the catch. And when he went to support her at the Paris Olympics, where she cleaned up about, I think she got 3 golds and a silver and was on top of her game, he wore her medal, and some people interpreted that as him trying to steal her spotlight, which I think that's a little bit of a reach. I think he's just enjoying her medal with her, right? But hey, when there's smoke, there's fire, meaning because there was this history, people interpret every other action he does after that with this energy. So that was one thing. And then recently there was an issue where they purchased a dog, and I guess because Simone has been supportive of PETA or animal support in the past, they thought that it was very hypocritical that she went and got like a custom dog instead of getting I don't know what the term is, but when it's a dog that you rescue, a rescue dog. So that was the controversy there, which I'll leave it there for you guys to read on your own time, but that's what I gathered from this when I skimmed through it. See, she was supportive of the PETA organization, and so they thought that she should have purchased from a shelter instead of purchasing from a breeder. So that is the recent controversy that they had as of December 2025, so basically last month. And that is why I thought that it would be a good time to check in on their relationship, since we recently did a few readings on other relationships in Hollywood that have unfortunately either come to an end or have experienced challenges, like Tiana Taylor and Aaron, like Megan Good and Jonathan. Interesting how I know the women's full name for each of those, and I don't know the men's last name. Similar to how it was in the beginning of this reading, where I had to look at my notes to see what Simone Biles' husband's full name was. So many would say that is why he came off as arrogant, in terms of him saying he's the catch and maybe assuming that he's so accomplished and so on her level. Meanwhile, most people like myself, I know Simone Biles' full name. I didn't know his name. I know him as Simone's husband. So let's see what the cards have to say about this couple's dynamic. Hopefully they are not another challenged or doomed couple, as we saw with the readings on Megan and Taylor, but especially that Megan Good one. Yikes. From what I remember, that was just, that was a very concerning reading or dynamic. If there's any truth to those cards, which I hope it's not, I hope it's wrong, but if it's true, you got to get out of that, Meg, and society will support you. I know it's hard to have egg on your face after a previous divorce, but better to be safe than sorry. And if you stay with that guy based off those cards, it seems like you'll be sorry. But let's bring it back to Simone and Jonathan. Spirit, what can you tell me about Simone Biles and her husband, Jonathan Owens? Let's get a few cards out for them. What is the dynamic of their relationship? What is to come for them? Oh, okay, because I was going to ask if she's going to have a baby. So the Empress card in reverse. Does this mean that she cannot conceive, or she at this time might be having some difficulty with fertility? The Empress card upright, this is divine feminine energy. She's a goddess of fertility, creativity, abundance, someone who's very confident. But in reverse, this indicates that there are challenges to fertility and abundance. So one could say that this might indicate that there is some difficulty with conceiving, with getting pregnant. Either difficulty or some conflict that they're having. Maybe they have a disagreement about when to do it, or there might be some divine intervention, because sometimes when God doesn't want you to reproduce with someone, God won't let you reproduce with someone, and you're thinking that it's just your body, but it may be God telling you that, or the universe, if you don't believe in God, it could be the universe just telling you this is not the person to have a baby with and start a family with. So let's see if we can get some more information there. We have the Six of Wands. Yikes. This indicates false success. So this is someone that's pretending that things are good when they're not. Meaning behind the scenes, there are fractures, there are reasons for concern. So it could be that things are not going as planned. There are basically a lot of things behind the scenes that are not assisting this relationship in moving forward in a positive way. So keeping up appearances, keeping up a face, this could also indicate someone that is not getting the recognition that they believe they deserve for something. So maybe you will be getting a bad reputation when you've put in the work to actually have a good one. But it more so felt like this is indicating that they're putting on a certain face, like putting on a certain appearance. This is pretending. So that's not good to see in this kind of reading. Someone is defensive, defending their position at the top of whatever this is. But this is a person that is fending off attacks. I wonder who in this relationship feels that they are under attack. In the past, we have seen Simone come out and speak in favor of her man. So some would say that that's Simone defending her relationship, defending her husband, which is why they keep up this pretense, keep up this false image, this mask, in order to protect him and to protect the relationship, because she wants to make that work. But there is something here that is creating a lack of confidence, or this could be, again, as I said in the beginning, something to do with fertility issues, a problem with conceiving, or disagreements about conceiving. Yikes. We have the Five of Swords in reverse, which indicates the revelation of some wrongdoing. Someone that was thieving, lying, cheating, sabotaging, some sort of betrayal has happened, and it has already been revealed, or it will be revealed. It's about a revelation. Uh-oh. So after defending your man, I hope you're not also covering for him too, if that's him, or maybe it's Simone, who knows? It feels more like it's Jonathan, but let's see where this is going. Page of Swords, yeah, someone's going to come forward with some truth, with some message. This Page of Swords is about someone that is talkative, someone that is curious and energized and has a thirst for knowledge. But in this case, we can think that this is something that is going to be communicated, or someone wants to come forward with some information. Maybe someone will come out and say that they were having an affair with one of the people in this relationship. So either someone had an affair with Jonathan, someone had an affair with Simone, and that will come out into the public, or, you know, they'll release a tweet. However people do it these days, these cards seem to indicate that something that was done wrong in this relationship is going to be revealed, because someone's going to speak about it, unfortunately. Oh no, Simone, I hope that's not true. We have the Eight of Wands reversed, which indicates some sort of delays and setbacks, indicates that things are not working in your favor in terms of momentum. There's stagnancy, there's obstacles, there's obstruction, and you're having a hard time getting to your end destination or your end goal. In this case, we could say that there's a lack of momentum in the relationship. They're not growing. I would reinterpret that to stay. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. This is someone who's very aggressive, someone who is selfish, jealous, insecure, very demanding, and this is not a great energy to deal with. I don't know if this is the person that's going to come forward. This could be the energy of someone that I would assume Jonathan is having a affair with someone like this, and that person speaks up about it and is very combative or difficult for the couple to deal with in terms of silencing. So they might want to blackmail or leverage the cheating information, like, give me money or else I'm coming forward with this news. Or this could be the energy of Jonathan himself. Even though this is a feminine energy, we all have male and feminine energy, masculine and feminine. We all have masculine and feminine energy. So it could be that this is a side of Jonathan that we don't know about, but we may have seen or heard hints of that in the rumors and the speculation, because this is the kind of person, remember, he's a Leo. This is a fiery energy, a fiery personality that would be maybe arrogant, as was mentioned in the description of him from that article that I showed at the beginning in the background information. And someone that is arrogant and feeling a level of self-importance, and someone that's just very difficult to deal with, right? Because this is putting your energy, all that fire from the suit of wands, all that passion is being put in the wrong direction, and you're being bossy and even catty about it. You see the little cat? You're being catty. He may be someone that's a bit sassy and difficult to deal with behind the scenes, which, sorry to say, I'm not surprised based off of the little bit that we did see where the examples that were given of Jonathan expressing what seemed like arrogant mentality around him being the catch to his wife. It could be an extension of this energy, which we would only imagine what we saw was the tip of the iceberg, and in reality behind the scenes it's even worse. I believe actually Simone addressed that same instance of him going in the public and saying that he's the catch or something like that. She addressed that in a Netflix documentary, which some of the fans felt like, well, why are you bringing this up so many years later? That's such old news. You kind of just kicked up the dust on something that had settled, and so that's why it's on people's minds again, and kind of have people looking at him sideways again, especially after that dog thing. So people feel behind the scenes that it's just confirming what they already suspected from when they saw that first instance of him seeming like somewhat of an arrogant or what do you call it, self-aggrandizing person, where he feels that he's bigger than her and more important, more accomplished, more successful, more renowned than a world global successful Olympic athlete. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Than a world athlete and Olympic winning gymnast. So an Olympic medal winning gymnast. So let's just pull out a few more cards here. Page of Wands, interesting. So someone may pursue a new passion. If there's any truth to this idea of cheating, then maybe someone will explore a new relationship, a new connection. But we can hope that this is actually referring to the more benign definition of passion, which could be like a new creative project, a new business idea, a new opportunity that someone's just excited about. Because Simone has done 3 Olympics, and it seems like she has been at the top of her field for ages. I imagine that she might want to try something different. So this could possibly be her venturing off and exploring a new venture, a new passion in life outside of being a gymnast. Does she cook? Maybe it's going to be cooking. Maybe they do a reality show. Maybe it'll be trying to start a new hobby, whatever it could be. Maybe Simone is ready to try something different to keep herself happy within this relationship by focusing on something outside of the relationship. Sometimes that's how marriages are. Unfortunately, that's how people cope, is like, let me find something to keep me busy outside of the house so I don't have to deal with this one too much. Okay, someone is trying to avert disaster with this Tower card in reverse, which, by the way, I was supposed to actually look at all of these. Yeah, Tower card reversed. Ooh, that's not good. think this is the last card I'll take. Actually, no, this one too. Someone is trying to avert a disaster, meaning trying to hold on to the relationship and not let it end, which we saw some indications of that here with the pretending and the defending your relationship, defending your man. So it seems like, as I was suggesting with this Page of Wands, getting excited about a new external passion or opportunity to cope, to keep yourself balanced in the relationship by focusing on something outside of the relationship is indeed part of what helps them stay together based off of this tarot card in reverse. Although there is some sort of dishonesty, or this Ace of Swords in reverse could also indicate weaknesses. This could indicate stress and anxiety because of the chaos brought on by the confusion of dishonesty. And since we did see this card indicating some sort of lies, cheating, stealing, betrayal, and sabotage, so something that is also very dishonest but comes to be revealed, it seems like whatever this situation is, which one would assume it's cheating, but it could be something even worse. Who knows? These days you get a lot of abuse in relationships from what we hear in social media and in entertainment. Unfortunately, people will really take you by surprise with the wild things that they're doing within their relationships, when it's like, well, you could have just been single, and why do you have to bring that into someone else's life? But anyway, that's how people do. So could be that this is the simplest. At the simplest level, this could be cheating. At the more complex level, this could be something even crazier. But whatever that dishonesty is, it's problematic. And this is definitely not a good energy for the mental health of the people in that relationship. And I hope that they're able to work through the relationship and get on the better side of it, if there's any truth to this, of course, because this was just for entertainment, no facts, no truth, just tarot. So I think we'll leave it there. There was also this card, this Four of Pentacles, indicating a sort of greediness, but I will not really include that in this reading because I think we didn't really see much about finances in this reading. I don't think either one of them is hurting for money, or are they? I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it here just in case. But I think they are more so dealing with some internal and emotional difficulties and trying to keep up this image, keep up this appearance, this brand, fight off the scrutiny and the judgment from their fan bases or from the public, and keep their sanity, keep some sort of balance, so they can proceed in keeping and protecting this relationship for whatever reason. I wonder if this will be an issue for them long term. If she doesn't have a baby, or if she can't have a baby, or if she's not ready to have a baby, maybe that is something that they will have to reconsider in their relationship if it becomes a problem. Since it did start off this reading, that's what it's indicating. So we'll leave it there. And of course, I wish you well, Simone and Jonathan. Hope that you're able to work through that, and hope that you are able to have a baby one day. But if God is telling you that this is not the guy, then, you know, they're young enough to where they can still pivot and redirect their hearts, their efforts into the right person, the right partner. I kind of, you know what? Let me just pull a few cards here too, because I wanted to get more of a esoteric read. So these cards are helpful for that. Let me get a few more cards out for Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens spirit. Let's get a few cards out. Let us know the true dynamic between Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens. What can you tell me about Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens spirit? Will they stay together? Because those cards indicated, okay, Ice King. The previous cards indicated that there's a lot of conflict and turbulence, that they're trying to kind of keep the lid on that. But now we're starting off this secondary supplementary reading with this Ice King card meaning someone's cold and perhaps selfish, which I think we saw some indication of that in the previous reading with that reversed Queen of Wands that was here. Okay, so someone's having a hard time waking up to the truth with this Awakening card in reverse. Okay. The community or their networks, their support systems are not exactly supporting their relationship, or the fan bases, the public is not supporting their relationship, since we have this community card in reverse. So it indicates that from the outside looking in, many people, whether they're either close to them or public like us, are not really looking at their relationship favorably, which can't blame them based off of the little bit that we've come to learn. Uh-oh, courthouse in reverse. So this could indicate either legal issues to come or possible divorce, because you would undo, right? You go to the courthouse to establish your marriage, and you would be undoing that marriage if things get too crazy. But let's pull out a few more to kind of clarify that. Oh, look at that, healer. Interesting. So it might be very healing for someone to step out of this marriage or to break it off legally via the courthouse. Yeah, because someone has not been an angel. Someone's been very difficult to deal with, even though they might pretend that they are good on the outside, but dealing with them behind closed doors, they might be anything but. So this is someone that is a bit devious, perhaps, or difficult at the very least to deal with. Oh, wait a second. An achievement? Is this an extension of, again, stepping out of this wedding, stepping out of this marriage, feeling like an achievement, like we got stuff done? I'm starting to feel like these cards are not even for this. Uh-oh. Poverty Rising Star. Let me just get one more card out. I'm so surprised that these are this card, and I believe these two cards came out when I did the first reading of the night, which was on Kristy and Desmond Scott. So I'm very surprised to see some of these cards repeating, but I certainly shuffled it quite a few times, so I will accept them as a part of this reading. We have here the work and effort card in reverse, meaning that someone is not putting in their fair share of the work in this relationship between Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens. Yeah, it says work, labor, effort. So someone's not putting in the work. And then we have entity attachments, but we have it in reverse. So as I had said earlier on, it seems like there is someone who is either devious or just not that great behind the scenes, behind the mask, when we got this Earth Angel card reversed. And this entity attachment may indeed be some sort of spiritual layer of darkness that someone in that relationship has, that is contributing to a lot of the difficulties and conflicts that they may be having. Yikes. Not good to see. I think I'll leave it there. Let me just take a quick peek at what else. Yeah, look at that conflict. Sorry to see it, but not surprised. Lots of conflicts because of this person that has really negative attachments or dark attachments. And it feels like that's probably, maybe, perhaps Jonathan. This imprisonment card means that someone may feel stuck or wanting to break free, right? Because upright, they are stuck and imprisoned, but this way they are either breaking free, or that's perhaps a desire. This is like a repeat here, where it's like, get out of this marriage, get away from the situation. Yikes, karmic femme. Karmic femme. So there may be a woman that comes and helps either Simone or the guy, Jonathan, get out of this relationship, and it may be meant to be. This is someone that is sent to assist, someone karmic, meaning you're getting your karma back, but it's going to be a good, favorable karma, either for Simone, or it could be a woman that is the karma of Jonathan. Yikes. I think I'll leave it there. I always say that, but then I still want to take a peek. Yeah, I'll leave it here. Immaturity. Immature man. And we got this mature man, but in reverse card. So maybe Jonathan's immature and he'll easily fall for this karmic bait that comes in the form of a woman. So yeah, we saw between this reading and the previous reading, we did see a couple things to indicate a potential cheating or infidelity. So let's hope it's not true, because Simone Biles is so decorated, talented, and beloved, and we would hope that she could be in a happy and healthy relationship, which these cards don't indicate that. But of course, this was just for entertainment purposes only. No facts, no truth, just tarot. And hopefully she will be able to make the best decisions for herself, if indeed this is something that she needs to get out of. All right, so I think we have actually done all of the readings that I had planned for tonight. The only one that I didn't get to was the Mila, Kunis, Ashton, Kutcher, which I could just throw out a few cards for that real quick before I jump off. Why not? They had showed their face at the Golden Globes, which some people were like, oh, they're showing their face after that scandal they had a few years ago where they wrote letters in support of their castmate. Let me see. I'm pulling up my notes to get the names here. Yeah. So the original reading I was going to do for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, I was going to ask, will they stay together? They were seen making an appearance at the Golden Globes, showing their face after the September 2023 controversy. So Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are both successful actors from That 70s Show. They've been married since 2015 and together since 2012, sharing 2 children, 10-year-old daughter Wyatt and 9-year-old son Dimitri. In recent years, they have shifted to work behind the camera and as producers, and have other successful ventures and investments. But apparently, they experienced backlash after they sent letters of support to a judge back in 2023 following their former 70s Show castmate Danny Masterson's rape conviction after he was found guilty. Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life for the rapes of 2 women. They have not gone into hiding. They addressed their controversy directly and have remained active in Hollywood, including reprising their roles in That 90s Show and continuing to work. But the incident significantly impacted their public image for actions perceived as insensitive to victims of sexual assault. So seeing them show their face at the Golden Globes made people remember that recent stain on their reputation. So let's pull a few cards out to see what's the energy between Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. What is to come for them? Will they stay together? What is the truth about what they're like behind the scenes? Because it was not a good look to be in support of someone that was convicted for rape, which the other more popular censored version of that is grape, as in grape juice or grapefruit, but I'm not using that because it's too close to the actual word. So I'm just going to say rape, okay? Rape. So let's get a few cards out. Oh, interesting. False narrative. Let's get a few cards out to see. Actually, I want to switch decks. Should I? I want to use this deck, but first I'll pull out a few of both. How about that? Spirit, what can you tell me about, ooh, yikes. What can you tell me about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis? So we got this endings card that popped out. Yikes, I wonder if this is trying to say that their relationship might come to an end, or maybe the bad publicity, the scrutiny that they've received attached to that incident of them supporting that convicted castmate. Maybe that will come to an end. Let's get a little more information. This is a popular card tonight, Ice King. Someone is cold-hearted. Someone is selfish and icy. I wonder if that is Ashton. Okay, something to do with one's North Node. So this is usually someone stepping into their higher self or showing this face, this version of themselves. So we can consider this as someone maybe masking or keeping up a certain face, a certain appearance, to appear like a certain kind of person. Ooh, abundance is going to be impacted. So the financials, the coins of this couple may be impacted in the future because of whatever blockages they experience in either work or in their reputations. Whatever they can't shake, it may contribute to them not being able to get as many lucrative roles as they would like, bringing either the relationship to an end or Maybe it's a deal, maybe it's a brand deal, maybe it is some arrangement, some agreement that they have might be coming to an end, and they might end up in a situation where it's not very lucrative for them. Oh, starseed. I don't even know what that means. I wonder if this is just trying to say a woman comes along and interferes with the relationship. Let's see if we get some more clarity on that. Uh-oh, health concerns. Yikes. Health concerns. So maybe there may be some health challenges, but then they overcome it. Or maybe this experience of trying to keep a certain image and keep themselves in the spotlight, or, sorry, how am I trying to say this? The strain of trying to save their face, save their reputations, and still work in the industry while keeping up appearances, keeping this mask or a mirror, whatever that could be. It could be very straining for them, and even take it as far as health issues, but it seems like they'll get on the other side of the health issues at least. But this indicates that there is indeed a level of strain there in the relationship, enough to impact the health of one or both of them. Yikes, jealousy and envy. That's not good. There may be jealousy and envy from one, or, I mean, who could be jealous and envious of them? They've been together for a while. They have their kids. Yeah, maybe one of them is jealous of the other if the other gets more opportunities. I don't know. It's starting to feel like these cards aren't really for them, so I'm going to switch decks. Then we got this divinity card. Yeah. I don't even know. Someone's not divine, but I would say that these cards didn't really feel like it was for them, except for the health concerns card. So I'm actually going to switch decks. I mean, just in case there is another woman. We did get this lust card in reverse, but I'm not going to take it, and I'm just taking a look here. Rich guy, false narrative, and this card actually tried to pop out earlier, so there must be something to this whole idea of a false narrative. So things must not be as they seem, and this rich guy may have the coins to turn their brand and image around, or at least offer them a lucrative opportunity after they experience some financial impact. But these cards felt a little off, so I'm going to just switch decks and pull out a few cards to get some clarity on what is to come for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Spirit, what can you tell me about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis? What is to come for them, Spirit? Let's get a few cards out for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Let me actually shuffle this way. Let's get a few cards out for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, Spirit. Let's get a few cards out for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. What can you tell me about what is to come for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, Spirit? Let's get a few cards out for them. Ooh, cards are not active tonight. This is one of the decks that got wet a few weeks ago, so makes it harder. Makes it harder for cards to pop out. Spirit, what can you tell me about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis? Let's get some cards out for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. It might be too many. Let's see. Yeah, it feels like... Okay, something about the past. Recovery Queen. Let me just one more time shuffle because it's too many, but it's always good to see in case those pop back out. And I'll actually shuffle facing upwards because this deck is starting to get bent. Okay. All right. Let's get a few cards out to see what's to come for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, Spirit. What can you tell me about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis? Let's get a few cards out for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Nothing's popping out yet. So maybe. What can you tell me about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, Spirit? Gee. I might need to switch decks one more time because, to my surprise, nothing's popping out. Spirit, what can you tell me about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis? Let's get a few cards out to see what is to come for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, Spirit. Okay. Oh, okay. So this card is indicating balance and patience. This Temperance card upright. Patience for something to come, I guess. Oh, wow. The Sun card. This is positivity, joy, success, fun, happiness. Excellent. We have the Knight of Pentacles. This is someone that is grinding and getting things done. This is someone that's very diligent, responsible, reliable, hardworking, methodical, structured, routined. Wow, so they're going to be really focused on their work and grinding and progressing in their industry. Very different from what we saw in the previous cards. Page of Wands. This indicates a sense of someone that is discouraged because of distractions or procrastinations that's preventing them from seizing some opportunity or seizing a wave of energy and some passion, some idea that they had. There's some blockage there based off that pace. There's some blockage there because of some lack of inspiration. There's some blockage there because of a lack of passion, a lack of effort, or just being distracted and procrastinating. So that may be a temporary blockage to some of their work projects. Then we have this Moon. Wait, what was I saying? That may be a temporary blockage to some of their creative projects. That's what I was meant to say. To some of their creative projects. Then we have this Moon card indicating fears, anxieties, illusions because of some uncertainty. Interesting. So they may experience some uncertainty. And again, it feels like it has something to do with work and business since it is following this Knight of Pentacles card and this Page of Wands in reverse. Something is not going as it seems in some venture, some creative or business venture that they try to get off the ground. And that causes them to be a little fearful of the outcome or have some sort of anxiety because it's not going as they wished or as they had hoped. Indeed, there are delays and blockages based off of this Eight of Wands reverse, another popular card tonight. So I wonder if that has anything to do with travel, since the Eight of Wands also indicates travel. So there could be maybe some scheduling conflict that doesn't allow them to seize this opportunity and this energy. So just taking it from the beginning, it just seems like it's a matter of time before Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher are able to step out and not feel judged by that controversy of sending those letters as I described in the beginning. It seems like it's just a matter of time. That's why they have to be patient, and they will be able to be a little more public and adventurous or experimental about their creative and business pursuits. But something may not work out, and it won't necessarily have anything to do with the reputation from that old thing. It's just going to be something else, something to do with either scheduling or some politics within the entertainment industry. And oh, this is a great card, the Two of Cups, indicating mutual attraction. So since they're already married, this could indicate that they are not breaking up. They are still attracted to each other, or they still see benefits from each other. But this could also be a proposal, not necessarily a romantic one, like a business proposal. Someone may propose to them something that they find attractive, a deal. Maybe it could be a series, it could be a docu-series, it could be a film, it could be a show, a movie, something that they find an attractive deal that the business or the director, producer, whatever part of the industry that offers them that, they will be benefiting too. So that's good. That indicates that they will still have a viable brand that someone else finds attractive enough to make a deal after some other venture that they try doesn't work out. Okay, and there's something that is supposed to come to an end that they are holding on to with this 10 of Swords in reverse. I wonder what that could be, because we didn't get any much clarity here on if this is something to do with their relationship or about business. I'm inclined to think it's more about business, because it seems like it's all good in their personal lives. They still love each other, or at least find each other beneficial or attractive, and they're just weathering the storm and just being patient. Yeah, there's a lot to indicate that things with business are not going to go as they had wished. Look at that. So we had the Page of Wands, we had the Moon card, we had this Eight of Wands indicating delays and obstacles, and this 10 of Swords indicating you have to let go of something that is not going to get any better, but they're having difficulty with that. And then we have this 8 of Pentacles reverse indicating that either you're not putting in the work or you're putting it in on the wrong direction. So I would take this to mean that they are not seeing the benefits of some effort, something that they've been working really hard on. Because it does seem that they stay busy. I wouldn't, because alternatively, this card could mean lazy. I don't see laziness on them, but this could be either you're putting in the work and not getting much out of it, which is frustrating. You're not getting rewarded. Or this could mean perfectionism. Maybe you're trying to make things perfect and that's working against you. We finish with this 3 of Swords indicating some heartbreak, some disappointment, some shock and betrayal, which we are left to assume could be around some business project again, because the cards seem to be very focused on ventures, creative ventures, business ventures, and it seems like in between things are just okay or fine or happy, pleasant between them, I would even say. So let's hope that's not some betrayal amongst them. This more so feels like this is an external betrayal, like maybe they go into a deal and it's not what they thought it would be, which is shocking and disappointing for them. But I don't know, I'd be surprised. It seems like Ashton has been pretty smart about his business pursuits, so I guess we'll leave it there. This reading felt a little off so maybe we'll revisit some cards on them in the future once we see a little more of what's going on with them. Because usually when I can't get a card to pop out, usually means that I'm usually either blocked from the energy or something was off with the deck. Like maybe I'm drained since I had to shuffle so much and nothing popped out. So I will leave that there and come back to it in the future. I'll take one more look at my notes to see if that is that. I think I did cover everything I intended. And I'll shout out just a few things that are to come down the pipeline, because there were some other requests here. All Need Glax requested a reading on Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco, as well as Demi Lovato and Juice Jordan. So All Need Glax, that's going to come up in my Valentine's Day special. I will be doing a reading on those couples. We have Leo Now wants a reading on Kendall Jenner and Devin Booker. Interesting. If I see some news on them, I will definitely pull out some cards on them. But I would more so think we should look at cards between Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny, since he will be doing the Super Bowl pretty soon. Maybe she would reconnect with him conveniently at a time when he's going to have a lot of publicity on him, since the Kardashian Jenners love publicity and fame and attention. So if there's any buzz around that, I will definitely look into some cards around them, Kendall Jenner and whoever she's dating. Then we have a request for a reading on Timothy Chalamet and Travis Scott. Interesting. So someone wants to know what's the energy between Kylie Jenner's current boyfriend versus what's the energy between Kylie Jenner's, okay, let me say this right. What's the energy between Kylie Jenner's current boyfriend, Timothy Chalamet, and her previous baby daddy, Travis Scott? So we'll look into that. Someone wants to know, how does Chris Brown feel about Nicki Minaj during this time of controversy? Oh, eek. That gets a eek. Oh, and they want to know if they'll ever do a tour or a joint album. Oh, that would be interesting to see. I doubt it. Immediately, the spirit said no. But I know they did try to tour in the past and something happened. I feel like after all of the negative publicity that Nicki Minaj has gotten with her recent outbursts and, you know, decisions to align with what some would consider a very controversial stance in politics because of that, or controversial because of her fan base. Basically, now that they're calling her MAGA Minaj. Now that she seems to be in support of conservatives and the TPUSA appearance, and in support of the current presidency and conservatives and Republicans, it's her fan base is feeling that is going against them, since she has a lot of LGBT plus people that are barbs in support of her, and the conservatives or Republicans traditionally do not support policies or anything that helps and protects LGBTQ plus. So yeah, maybe I'll consider that down the line. I don't know, maybe not, because instantly the spirit said no. So I doubt it. I mean, Chris Brown has worked so hard to repair his own image that I doubt that he would risk associating or aligning with someone that is going through their own storm at this time. So yeah, maybe if there is any news about them, I'll definitely do a reading on them. But for now, I don't think so. And then Pat asked for a reading on Kamala Harris. Interesting. Yeah, if I ever do any political readings again, because I like to do things in batches. Whenever I do political readings again, I will definitely do a reading on Kamala and see if she's going to run in 2028. I previously did a reading on, what's her name again? AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the current Congresswoman of New York, to see if she will run in 2028 or whenever the next presidency is. Yeah, 2028. So whenever I revisit those, yes, Pat, I will do a reading on that. So I think that is it. Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you all for joining the stream. I look forward to seeing you all on my future stream, since I've scheduled quite a few in advance. Lots of different interesting specials and niches. We do love the mainstream celebrities, but there are a few different pockets of entertainment, such as the Bravo Housewives and the commentators, the personalities and influencers of media, that it's going to be interesting to see some readings on them. So I just want to thank you all, as usual, for supporting, for enjoying, for giving great suggestions and questions. And overall, I hope that you all have a beautiful evening or morning whenever you all watch this. It's still evening for me. So with that, I wish you all abundance and illumination. Is that what I wish you all? I keep forgetting what is my closer. I need to start adding that to my notes. But yeah, one more time. Let's take it from here. So I wish you all abundance and illumination. May divine light radiate through your life. Keep shining. Thank you. Or I should probably do it like this, right? Keep shining. Yeah, use the space. All right, guys. See you next weekend for those of you that love the horoscope and personal readings. And then I will be resuming the celebrity readings afterwards. All right. Bye. Have a great week. See you soon. Hit the like button. Thanks. Bye.